Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of It's a Progressive World. As always, you can find timestamps down below, and please like and subscribe. Alrighty, Sam. I think we have some fun stuff for today, huh? Quite a few fun stuff.
Yes, I would agree. I think we live up to our name for this one episode only, that we're gonna at least start with a deep coverage of the progressive world, especially in America, and what they're up to and what they're doing. At first, we're gonna focus on our friend and the person who, if we lived in America, if we were U.S. citizens, or if we cared about politics, if any of these things were true, we probably would have voted for him.
PBD?
Although Cornel,
Oh, Cornel.
Cornel Jr, Cornel, Mr. West, Brother West.
Brother
So
West. Okay, Brother West.
there was a new like he's become a object of our desire as well as fun for us. But there's a new article out from Forbes, I believe, which does a deep dive on him, or a smear job, some would say. So we're gonna look at that. It's from Forbes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's a really fun read, whatever it
Yeah.
is, whether it's a smear job or a real critique. It's truly fun to
It's
read,
fun,
for
that's for
sure.
sure. Nobody can
Yeah,
take that away from us.
nobody can take, or from the writer of that article, or from any of Cornel West's ex-wives,
Yeah.
which seem to be the main source for that article. But
It's our
anyway,
lived experiences, okay? So we can't can't
but
say anything about it.
not to fall behind, I would say all the other independent sort of third way, I don't know what they call them, candidates, are doing their best to keep up with the ridiculousness of Cornel West. I mean, you judge by yourself if they're, meeting his ridiculousness levels or they're passing it. It's just, it's unbelievable. The hilarity continues in the progressive world. After that, hopefully, we're gonna briefly take a look at what's going on, what's the latest with Israel and Palestine, which is, I'm sure most people are aware of the details better than we can explain. So we're just probably gonna take a look at some of the, interesting points, fun videos, which there are so many coming out from Gaza, fun videos. That's the thing. And then after that, I forget what did we
We're gonna, I mean, we have some small stuff here and there. I think, Kissinger, we'll talk about. We didn't get to
yeah.
talk about
Kissinger
him. I have a
passed
question for
away.
you about him. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
not actually a question. Joking. Something small.
Yeah, I
And
imagine.
then we're gonna watch this. We're gonna do a
Ah,
pretty much a watch along. That's why we should also just do the 19-minute one, because there's also longer versions, but I think we'll need like a 24-hour
yeah, that the
recording
for
to get
longer
through it.
version. Yeah. We need to,
So
yeah, that's gonna be like a
yeah.
2-day job. Like, yeah, that's not gonna
So this
happen.
is PBD spoke with the Shah of Iran's son, and
Yes.
it's a
I like to,
PBD show. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's
yeah, it's the most PBD show I think you can get. This is probably PBD's like ultimate dream in some ways. I would think
yeah.
this interview was like the main goal of the podcast. But I would add, yeah, I like to again, just to emphasize, this is Shah's son, and frankly, Shah himself has distanced himself. He says he doesn't really know him. Anyways, he's come back for his ghost. I communicated with his ghost last night, and he said I had nothing to do with raising him, and I like to distance myself. But yeah, it was, this one, yeah, I forgot about this. Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Yeah, so
yeah.
we'll watch this at the end. And as
My,
always, like I said, timestamps down below. So
it was can you go to a picture of PBD, because I want to double check that. His mother is from Gilan, so yeah. It's a good day for people with huge noses. It's just because both of them, man, huge noses, huge.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see. Interesting. Um okay. Okay. Alrighty, Sam. So should we This article is
Oh,
so good that I'm scared to do this video and be disappointed in the way that we cover this this article. It's so good, I don't want to ruin it. Actually, maybe we should just skip it.
Maybe should we just do it audible? You just read it out. And why Cornel West is broke by Jemima Denham.
Yeah.
Jemima? By Jemima Denham, probably sister of Cornel West's ex-wife or something. I imagine, because I mean, I don't know. Before reading this, I guess we should clarify we are not sure about all the allegations.
No,
we
no.
are just hopeful about them. But it is the most, it's written with the most condescending and patronizing tone.
Yeah.
It's like written by Cornel West's most disappointed uncle, basically,
Yeah.
or again, one of the ex-wives or the mother of an ex-wife, something like that could have only written this. So how did you find this? Do you want to tell us? How did you come about this fantastic article?
Man, Google News takes like giving you things that you like to a next level that it actually gets annoying, because it's just so repetitive and curated. I'm like, okay, I do like things except this one interest. But yeah, my friend Google News really knows what I like, I guess, at the same time. And it put the Cornel West article. I just clicked on Google News and it was like, yeah, Israel-Palestine, blah, blah, Gaza. Cornel, you have to read this. Read this. This is really
Here you go.
Yeah,
Trust
famine,
me.
blah, blah, blah.
Don't,
Okay. You know
don't
that.
need to
Everybody
open
knows
it.
that.
Don't open it. Just take it home. You trust it. You can trust me.
Pretty much. No, I did take like a deep breath before reading the article. I was like, take this moment in. Where am I? Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Google.
Let me come back to this action 5 minutes. I put my phone down, you know.
I don't think between like our group of friends, I don't think you have ever referred to any of us in the third person as my friend Sam or my friend blah. It's like only Google gets that level of respect. My friend Google introduced me.
Yeah. I won't even tell you about my best friend YouTube, of course.
Son of a bitch. Oh yeah. But
yeah.
so
this article's too good, man. Just the headline is enough. You don't really need to get into it, to be honest.
Headline and the news is why. I mean, it was, to be honest, it was a question. Like, so there was those allegations or revelations came out that Cornel West owes money in taxes and child support. And then his excuses, like they asked him, why do you owe money? And then he suddenly went with, like, he came out with an answer that made the whole thing way more suspicious. I owe money because I'm a good man and gifts and brothers. Okay,
no, he said lavish. He said I like to buy lavish gifts. And it's funny, this, of course, the person, whoever wrote this article picked up on that. Oh, I thought it was even here. It's not, but like the word lavish comes up like
quite a lot.
Yeah, right. The lavish spending. We'll get to that. So I'm sure they heard his own excuse, but
oh yeah. So
yeah. So the source, there you go. It's the divorce document. Secret
divorce?
Life.
No, it's divorce. We get to further. There are more detailed allegations, some of which can only come from an ex-wife, I feel. But yeah. So I guess Forbes saw what we saw, and they sent an actual journalist who's actually getting paid to actually do some research, and he came out with some of the harshest sort of, I feel like, I mean,
borderline
old
rude,
man.
but
yeah. Are we allowed to talk about him like this? Is that? I thought after 7, like, we were rude to him, but this article is kind of like, yeah, man, you're a piece of shit. Like, you need to sort out your life. It's so maybe read some of it. I don't know. What do you think? Shall we?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like you're usually good at the reading part.
So let's
start with here. Here, I just see this. This is good.
Yeah. All right. So let's go. A review of federal filings and property records confirms that West's net worth is near zero. It's so kind why do you have to like put it this way? It's so mean. Okay, you go is near zero. Anyway.
I
Other
think the
out.
author probably wrote originally like he's a broke ass bitch. The editor was like, okay, I don't think can you turn that into a
We can't,
paragraph? We can't actually publish that.
can use the bitch word in the Forbes magazine, all right? Other outlets have previously reported on his troubles paying taxes over the years, but no one so far has explained how someone so successful became so broke. Again, I love this, so broke, like not broke, so broke. With West in position to affect who becomes America's
Okay,
next
no.
president, yeah, that's giving him way too much power now. Forbes set out to answer that question, digging into heaps of legal and tax documents filed in various jurisdictions over 6 decades. Jesus Christ. Turns out much of the damage was self-inflicted. I mean, yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, I love the tone. I have to say. I
It's
mean,
too
I
funny.
don't.
The
Yeah,
tone
it's
is
too
just
good.
brutal.
Oh yeah, go down, go down. We get
And
to
then
some good.
so then here, here then the
So
person
they.
starts explaining how much money he's kind of made over the years and citing
Oh,
some stuff. So
let me
this
read
paragraph.
this. Let me read this part. Much of the money flowed to him with no taxes deducted. West blew it on many things, especially women, leaving little left for Uncle Sam by the time tax season arrived. I mean, yeah, he kind of. I love the fact that the hatred for Cornel West has promoted this guy so much that he's just like he's pretty much writing poetry. Like much of the money flowed to him with no taxes deducted. West blew it on many things, especially women, leaving little left for Uncle Sam by the time tax season arrived.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
funny that you say the word poet because also like I mean I'm gonna show you this little clip from C-SPAN. Cornel was talking yesterday. He does say some pretty good rhymey stuff sometimes.
oh yeah.
I must give him that. But yeah, and here it's saying that from his first book, he made 500,000 a year, I guess. Unclear for how long. So every time we talk about how much he made, we'll also point that out.
Oh yeah.
Those sentences are not as fun, maybe, to because there's so much good stuff to read. Like for
Oh
instance,
yeah.
if this is true, this is like this kind of living. This sounds
This oh
irresponsible.
irresponsible and idiotic,
Yeah,
frankly.
yeah, idiotic. I think idiotic.
I mean, although I mean, I don't know about but this type of living does so much sound like pre-2008 type of living.
Mm.
You remember? Like we used to like it was like crazy times,
Yeah,
man. Seriously,
but
you
he was
remember?
a bit of a
Like
superstar too. I
everybody
mean,
had. I know exactly, and everybody had like 4 apartments. You remember? Like it was crazy. It was like everybody, yeah, I have 3 apartments. Just for fun. I got one. I was going to the shop and I thought I get. But let's so
yeah, no,
people
but
listen to. Let's give some context just to so people
and
know
honestly
what we're
though,
talking
like the
about.
C-SPAN video that we'll watch after, he is like kind of I think his strongest attribute, he is kind of like a rock
Oh,
star,
showman.
superstar,
Oh
showman.
yeah,
That's why with a
he's
good team, I always said you could get much more out of him with this campaign.
oh
You could get
or or
something
or just a
lucrative out of
different
it.
career maybe instead of just do a stand-up comedy or
Yes.
have you ever thought but I'll tell you something about that though I after this probably more but we need to bring back sort of old-fashioned there was this sort of industry back in the days of like not a stand-up comedy of people just going around telling us stories or talking. I think we need to bring it back. It was like like Mark Twain and the stuff they used to do that or
Well, some people
what's
do
his
it too, no? Doesn't that's what a friend Brendan Sharp does.
no that's like you have to be you don't have to be funny but you have to be amusing or engaging at least just you can't just show up and on the stage that's Peter could like actors used to do it but anyway. West lived in a 4-season condo in Boston, which he later admitted he could not afford, and rode
No
around in
shit.
a Mercedes or a Cadillac. This part is interesting because they couldn't pin it down whether it was a Mercedes or a Cadillac. So one of his 4 ex-wives accused West of maintaining a covert apartment in Boston for $5,000 a month to use as a love den. She also alleged that despite not having any health conditions, he later took a medical leave from his job at Harvard to live a secret life with another woman in New Mexico. I mean, it sounds like sex addiction. Is that a medical sort of health condition? So, you know, I'm just saying that could have been a medical emergency. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the ex-wife. You see, that's what I'm saying. If this is true, this is probably one of the harsher
but it adds
allegations.
Up. I mean,
It
listen,
adds
if you
up.
had
It adds
5
up.
wives, it adds up. Like,
it adds up, and timing is perfect because this is right like after he was in what was it, in Matrix movie. So he was probably like getting laid left and right because he appeared in Matrix 2, and I'm sure he capitalized on that. He seems like somebody who would capitalize. So I mean, maybe exactly. He thought, oh, I was in Matrix, I'm gonna get more movie offers as council members or something. No,
no, very good point.
So these guys are detective working. We are now on the side of the author. Okay? We think this is true. Not sure, but we are interviewing one of his ex-wives next week, by the way. Just to tease. I think this might actually, this Cornel West sort of having fun with him so much might actually lead us to our first journalistic work. Like all those people who with Biden was their first time, they brought like all the women who accused Biden. We're gonna bring in all of Cornel West's ex. Yeah, I'm sure they are looking for outlets to pitch. And so this part is much more, I guess. Go up, just let me read that because it's got a bit here. In court documents filed in 2002 and 2003, West did not deny burning money on affairs, at least one of which produced a child. So, yeah, I mean, evidence are mounting against Cornel West. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is one of the articles, like the Forbes editors were the most sure that everything's right. They're like, yeah, this sounds about right. Go ahead, publish it. It adds up.
So, here I want to read this for sure. They talk about more of his spending, and then they say he blamed his spending on his ex-wife. But this part really interested me, and this goes on to support one of my long-standing positions, which you kind of disagree with. So listen.
Okay, interesting.
More recently, after news about his tax
liens.
Is that a word?
I had to look it up too. I was like, is that a word? And it is. It's a tax term of, I think. I think when you haven't paid tax, and then it's kind of the structure that they impose on you to pay. If I'm not mistaken, it's related to that.
I'm glad I studied A-level economy and international political economy, because what is that?
No, I had never seen that word though, and yeah,
exactly. That's why I'm glad we went studied so hard at university. It was very useful. But news about his tax liens surfaced. West elaborated on the genesis of his debt problem, suggesting the student loans he incurred as an undergraduate put him in a black hole that he could never escape. Now, okay, first, from what I understand, before 90, I mean, the article goes on, says that's nonsense. Because
go ahead, say what you're gonna say. I just wanted to highlight that.
No need to elaborate. That's bullshit. Let's move on. It's just, that's an obvious lie. Before 1990s, the fee for like universities was much lower, from what I understand, except like some like crazy ones, like like the Yale maybe, or Harvard, that type of thing. And didn't he get a scholarship?
I think
that W. Boy scholarship or something. I mean, that's who he. I didn't know, but his dress is apparently.
He had a scholarship at 17. West got a partial, according to the author, scholarship to Harvard.
Worked by cleaning toilets and delivering mail, took out loans, he wrote in his memoir. All right, so okay, Harvard was always, you had to pay, but I can't imagine this.
And then he went on a full scholarship at the age of 20.
So
So here
3
he
years,
did
let's say,
accumulate, but I mean, the author, credit
doesn't
to
make
them,
sense to.
acknowledges, but then he's like, but let's not forget how much money he made. That's the thing. It doesn't add up. You know, you say like, um,
No, I'm okay.
I just,
Let's say I have $20,000 debt in 1990 or in 1980 when I come out of university. All right, and then because of my love affairs and my love of pussy, frankly, I end up breaking even every year. Am I still in $20,000 debt because of the
yeah, exactly.
university fees, or is it because I can't keep it in my pants, or is it because I can't, you know what I mean? That's yeah. It's, I feel like this is, as the fantastic author puts it, that's nonsense, West. Come on, man. So the fact that he brought it up makes me even more suspicious of him. I don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah,
you.
no, 100%.
At least take responsibility for.
But man,
Uh,
this person is just brutal. Just
oh yeah,
read. Oh shit. So read. I mean,
yeah.
okay. So after 3 decades, the person argues that after 3 decades, he could have easily paid, and he
Would
did
not owe
not, and he
half a
still
million
owes
dollars.
$500,000. Yeah. And hear this sentence: the real explanation for West's financial problems: recklessness. I mean, the author is just brutal. And then he has
Recklessness.
spent and lived wildly, impregnating and
It's
abandoning multiple women, leaving him with significant divorce and child support payments, some of which he failed to pay. Jesus.
no, I mean,
If
I
government
love.
leadership is about managing money and maintaining relationships, it's hard to imagine anyone else in the field who's less prepared for the job than Cornel West. This
Yeah,
person.
I mean, let me just read this because I just wanted to add this because the author's disdain for
Yeah, I
Cornel
know.
West,
It's
it
next
just comes
level.
across, right? The real explanation for West's financial problem, recklessness, period. Like nothing else. Recklessness, period. All right. That's it. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, if it's true, which parts of it are certainly are, can't really argue with it, can you?
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know what is his plan if he becomes president. So far, his plan seems to be that he's gonna start a movement. That's like so even like rhetorically, he doesn't seem prepared. But yeah. So yeah, he's been go down, go down. There was something else we wanted to read
Oh,
about
there's
his.
plenty. Hold on. We haven't really got too much of the woman stuff. Um, okay, so here are these couple of paragraphs that we skipped. They talk about pretty much his first marriage.
Oh yeah,
So
and
now
it
here,
seems like
let's go to the second one.
it seems, by the way, did you get the same vibe that I did? That happens with a lot of men. I hope to God doesn't happen to us. That they have like first marriage, which was the real marriage, and
Oh,
then they
yeah.
become successful, and immediately within 5 years of success, they divorce their first wife, and they're suddenly like going through wives every like 6 months or
Yeah.
something. It kind of felt like that, but yeah, this part is quite fun. So he was in love again soon, marrying for a second time in 1981. 5 years into that union, he met the woman who would become his third wife in New Haven, Connecticut, when she served him a hamburger as he read Hegel in the restaurant of Holiday Inn. Man, I'm stopping reading the article for a second. I always tell my friends who are women, stay away from anybody who studies philosophy. Like they are the biggest creeps and like weird psychos, especially about sexual stuff. Like don't go near them. And every day it feels like it's been proven to me. In like this article, another evidence in my bag. According to his memoir, West proposed to the 27-year-old, Jesus Christ,
You're doing God's work,
Eleni.
with the advice that you're giving.
I swear to God, I am, because recently one of them, it was proven to her. She went on a date with a philosopher and she was like, Sam, you were right.
Here, come back
27-year-old.
to here. Come back to here. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah. No. According to his memoir, West proposed to the 27-year-old Eleni Gebre Amlak on their first date. Quote, Eleni, marry me and become the first lady of Black America. That line didn't work at first. By the time they actually did wed 5 years later, in Jesus Christ, it doesn't give up, does it? When they actually did wed 5 years later in 1991, Eleni had changed jobs and was working for the state of Maryland as a counselor for autistic adults. West convinced her to quit her job and delay plans to attend graduate school so she could travel with him, she later claimed. So here was, did you see that? That was throwing a shade at West for basically she was doing God's work by helping autistic kids.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
West stopped her from helping autistic kids, and now she's a whole housewife, basically. Man, gee, if this
Brutal.
is this party. I mean, did he write that in his memoir? How old was he in 1991?
No, she claimed that.
In her memoir?
Yeah, this part she claimed.
No, not that part. Go up. In his memoirs, West proposed, according to his memoir.
Yeah, he said this, I think, only according to his memoir, that marry me and become the first lady.
I mean, that part is ridiculous and cheesy, but when she was 27, how old was he? I feel like he was already in his 50s.
No, it was 1981. No.
He said, all right. Yeah, you're right. That's 40 years ago. Jesus. Yeah. Sorry, I keep thinking 1981 is 20 years ago because
no, that's past.
It's 2000 forever.
For a while, it was 20 years ago, and now it's no longer.
No, it's 20 years. It's 20 years ago. Okay, Reagan came to power 20 years ago, not 40 years ago. Sorry,
but yeah,
that part.
And he seems to have made good money too, as the person points out throughout the article. Including just getting 220 from Harvard, which is...
Money is a relative term. If you're running 6 different families, it's not too... I mean, Elon Musk, look at Elon Musk. He's got like 10 kids. I don't know if he has...
he's too... This author is just brutal. In 1998, while on a speaking trip to Ohio, West met a student who was a married mother of 2.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Jesus Christ.
Wife.
According to let's read that part. According to court records, records. He convinced her to leave her husband and move to Boston, where West was working at Harvard. He put her up in an apartment separate from four-season condo he owned with his wife Eleni. So guys, not only he stopped Eleni from teaching autistic kids, he also broke a family and orphaned 2 children. That's what we basically learned from this article.
Read the last sentence.
A star on the road, West became a deadbeat. Oh, Jesus Christ. Deadbeats. That's basically, that's one word probably that was from the original draft of the article that got into.
Seriously.
The article was originally called "That Deadbeat Asshole Cornel West."
Piece of shit.
Things sort of spiraled out of control. So they were under control.
Yeah, I know. In
1999, West separated from Eleni and rented an apartment for $5,000 a month from another professor. All the apartments are $5,000. That's nice. Everything is rounding.
Probably with him, yeah.
Yeah, professor at Harvard. He eventually reconciled with his spouse and moved back into his condo at the Four Seasons. But secretly maintained the apartment for future affairs. His wife alleges this sort.
So I thought he's not wise, but okay, I like that medium to long-term kind of thinking. He's like, okay.
No,
he's here, going back to her, but that doesn't necessarily mean in the long term giving up this apartment and bringing chicks.
What?
Why not have both?
I'm going to a coffee shop tomorrow. Who knows what the waiter looks like? Maybe I would be married again.
I'm about to take the metro right now. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. There could be a nice lady sitting next to me. Calls for a proposal. He should have embraced Islam. He could have done, like, if they okayed it, he could have done 4 at the same time. At least wouldn't take into so much legal trouble. All right. So just, I guess,
some more
to
money. They're saying that he
yeah,
made
just
in
yeah, just to
1999 and
emphasize,
2000 $500,000 per year.
if yeah, yeah, this article was seemed to have been largely written by Eleni, one of his ex-wives.
Yeah.
So, I mean, take a lot of things with a grain of salt. But yeah, they emphasize a lot that, according to his public earnings, at least, it seems very odd that he owes $500,000 in taxes. And then the article pretty much ends with his latest act of financial recklessness, running for president. West is on sabbatical from Union Theological Seminary now, which allows him to continue collecting paycheck, but the sabbatical will end next year, likely before his campaign does.
Well,
So
don't know
West,
about that.
no, this part is actually interesting, though. We come to an interesting point. So West expects to have to transition to an unpaid leave of absence, maybe a presidential, to an unpaid leave of absence. Maybe a presidential run will help him sell more books, but West seems skeptical. Quote, "It's not as if reading is an integral habit of our precious fellow citizens these days." End quote. He says, because as you know, most people who buy books end up reading them. So come
yeah, I was
on,
gonna say,
man.
don't worry, people still buy books.
Yeah, exactly. They buy books because they want to put them on the shelf,
Yeah,
especially if somebody was a presidential candidate who
exactly.
was a
And
Harvard
someone like
professor.
you wouldn't mind, like, you
Exactly.
could have a nice book with a nice cover of him reading
Exactly. Like,
poetry.
that's nothing. Like, the fact that how many people want to read the book has nothing to do with the
Yeah.
sales. His campaign has been a sloppy too. So not only it's financially reckless, it's a sloppy. If the Federal Election Commission kicked back his initial registration as a candidate because he neglected to sign, this part really pissed me off. He neglected to sign it. West Financial Disclosure, a standard form that all presidential candidates are required to submit, was remarkably barren, with no mention of his tax debts and no details about who has been paying him to give his speeches. It's hard to imagine federal ethics officials certifying the document without significant edits. So, I mean, they go on more details about this, but what pissed me off was just, I mean, the man clearly, like, everything about the campaigns, what it tells us is that the man does not give a shit. He has given less shit about his campaign than people who are like us who are making to we can see this from the selection of party and changing it every 2 seconds according to whoever calls him or faxes him or chats with him. We can see it. We can see it with even forgot to sign a declaration or form thingy. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, he does have a skill though. Right here, you can see his skill. So this is yesterday. C-SPAN put it on their website, or sorry, 4 days ago. And I guess he was giving a speech somewhere, and just watch like 5 seconds of it.
To the best of the great tradition that has been bequeathed to you, transmitted to you, and it's a great tradition, it is. That's why I'll start with catastrophe, the blues. But then the second element is swing. Now Duke Ellington said, it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. You got to have some sting in the swing. Now you can ask Terrence Crawford about that. He's undefeated, isn't he? Omaha, Nebraska. Oh yeah, 40 out of 40, is that right? He may not weigh 250 pounds, but he got some thing in his swing. But there's a deeper issue, and it has everything to do with politics. Because what Duke Ellington was saying was, black people have made dissonance itself a way of life. Wow. To live in the minor key, to live on the black notes of the piano, not because the notes are black, but because they flatten out the other notes. And they get beneath the notes and aside of the notes. Why? Because if black people didn't have swing and a different conception of time, we would be locked into a status quo that tells us There's never any alternative to you. All you can do is conform and defer to the powers that be.
Man, the fucker's good. I want to hire him for some kind of show. I'll be like, can you do this about some other topic? I would like for you to discuss. No, man, he's good. Have you seen these clowns who are running for president now, how they talk?
Oh, sure.
Look at this guy. You put this guy on TV, you get some fans.
I can imagine you going up to him. Have you heard of Premier League? There is this team called Arsenal. We need to whip up the support.
Can you come pre-game, give a little speech? The stadium. Yes. I swear he'd get people on their feet. That was good. Did you see the acting, the commitment, the physical commitment?
No, it's very passionate. It's very also typical of you know, black church presenters.
Yes.
You know, priest type thing. But I would say there is a lot of nonsense in there. Did you see what he said about
the nonsense? I don't even know what he said. He could have been speaking a different language. This could have been in German, as far as I'm concerned.
I know, right? No, you're right.
That's good German. Good German.
That's, by the way, you know the Sinezani chest beating for Imam Hussein, the Iranian. That's like the speakers for that are the same. Like I don't exactly know because parts of it are Arabic, but I'm very much into it. Yes, whatever you say, I'm not.
You're right.
Should kill them all. Yeah. Oh no, I don't know if I. No, he said black people have a different conception of time. I think that's what he claimed.
Listen,
right there.
Don't get stuck on the details. That was good. That was good.
No,
man.
It's not appealing to me, but that's the type of thing. That's why people keep saying Nina Turner is amazing as speaker, though. Like, you know.
No, she's not like that though. That was much better.
He's much more articulate.
She tries. She tries.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you're absolutely right what you say. You're absolutely right what you're saying. But yeah, he probably picked up a few chicks here. Okay, no, you're talking to the guys. Waste of time. Where are the girls? Oh, here. He's like you. Okay, listen. 4 seasons. You've heard of it. Don't go to the apartment on the 5th floor. No. My wife is there. That's very important. 3rd floor. Okay, 3rd floor.
Look, don't contact me. Contact my friend. He's a professor of ethics of Eastern philosophy. Okay, I am Western philosophy. He's Eastern. I rented his place, a room of his house.
Back before I had a place, now I couldn't afford the full place, but I still have a room. I
swear to God, see if she's chatting her up or because his last wife is an Iranian. I swear to God, if he cheats on an Iranian woman, that's his current. If he cheats on her, it's. You know, that's just crossing.
You're contacting Forbes, huh?
I'm contacting Forbes.
There's a second story here for you.
This Iranian woman.
To pitch your story.
This Iranian poet was betrayed by Cornel.
Minority Iranian.
God bless you.
I work with Chiquela, so we're
trying to find out where she works.
Oh, and you do too. We're saying all the things that need to be said. We've been fighting the juvenile justice center being built here in Omaha for the last 6 years.
Tell him that.
There's a lot of philanthropists in this town, you know, with Warren Buffett.
Oh, with the Buffett thing. Yeah, no,
I can tell you all about it.
I can imagine. You stay strong now. Oh my God, yes. Man,
make my dad proud.
Man, he's a super. Someone should have. Chris Hedges should have been. He listened to him. He should have been stronger. You shouldn't just have advised him to switch parties. He should have set up the thing for him.
He should have just taken over his Twitter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cornel, you just go study or whatever. Go fuck them. I don't know what you do.
And we'll let you know when you have to give a speech. And that's what they do with superstars. You know, they manage them like that.
Exactly.
They get them to the show, and then they do their thing. They perform. They have the concert.
Yeah, you're right. No, you like exactly. They should have. No, he should have been much more closely managed. I mean, both in terms of for his political campaign, Also, I think in terms of his personal life, that would, like if we had a sponsor or something for marriage addiction, it seems more than. But yeah, anyway, but I mean, I gotta say though, when we first were discussing this news item, I guess that's what news item? That's what we did. Kamir was like, "Is there any?" Like, this is the end of being a clown, and like this is the maximum of somebody being a clown. But I put it to Kamir, and I put it now to our audience, that there is a stiff competition, man. There is a stiff competition. Go to next video. I didn't even watch this video. Just the title cheered me up. Cenk and Marianne, referring to Marianne Williamson, I suppose, team up against the DNC. I mean, is that like... so Angola and West Congo have decided to team up against America.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm sure America is so...
Man,
I mean, there
I
such
felt
clowns,
bad
man.
in the Rising video, which we'll probably like look at for a second or something. They showed the debate that they had. Cenk,
Oh, I didn't see the debate.
Cenk,
Yeah.
Marianne and somebody else. And as Robbie actually pointed out, it wasn't a debate, it's a forum. And they're online, man. They're having like, they're each in their own place, and they had like an online debate. Which
So
makes sense, man. They can't
time.
afford to go to even travel to another... No, they can probably travel to another US city. Who the fuck is gonna rent the place and film
Yeah, exactly.
it? They don't have the infrastructure. They can do it online.
I mean, TYT can't even book a hotel for Marianne to come to LA. That's what we are saying.
That would look bad, man. I mean, what kind of presidential... Okay, we'll have a neutral presidential debate at my house. My wife will be serving cutlets, and yeah, make sure to come at 7. We have to wrap it up by 9. The neighbors.
My mother-in-law has provided the salad, guys. Don't forget to thank her when you leave. She's been standing in that corridor for you to thank. No, it's but it's just before getting into their fantastic and all encompassing debates, go to next one. So before joining forces or after joining forces, Cenk is just getting rejected everywhere. After getting rejected in New Hampshire, now Arkansas rules online news personality Cenk Uygur won't qualify for Democratic presidential primary. So his plan of convincing the whole nation to rethink that. This is a good time to say, by the way, that Kamir has not been ruled out by Arkansas.
No, that's a good point.
we are ahead of Cenk because we refuse to fill our paperwork. So I mean, I feel like paperwork is an unnecessary and undemocratic barrier to our presidential election. So by the way, am I still fired as a campaign manager? Or am I back? What is going on?
Man, it's too funny. Did Cenk send them a copy of that court law, of that Supreme Court case that he had mentioned? Because that's his whole argument, right? There is some kind of Supreme Court precedent. Did he send them a copy? He's like, "Dear Arkansas Commission, please check the PDF attached. I pray you to take a close look.
Look at the highlighted area."
Yeah.
And the comments in the open it in Word document, not in pages. Okay? You wanna open? I mean, he's got a point though. Like all the founding fathers of America, the biggest American as you can get, none of them were born in America because it didn't exist.
I didn't hear him say that. That's a good one.
I'm much as like, man, if these motherfuckers had me on their side, Cenk would be running NBC, MSNBC, or NBC. I don't know. One of George Washington was technically born in one of the colonies, I believe. So
let me actually switch around the order of those two videos before we go to RFK. This is the debate.
This is the debate for democratic people, and I love the fact the title that he'll put. where is Biden? POTUS blows off them primary debate. First, I don't think he knew about this, first of all. Okay.
Honestly,
to
for
God,
once, you
I
can't
didn't
blame the
know.
DNC, man.
You
You can
can't
blame the
blame anyone.
DNC and the media for, let's say, Bernie or something. They haven't crossed that path. The journalist, like that
Yeah.
fourth person probably had to beg his editor to do this hit piece on Cornel. They're like, fine, do it
Exactly.
on your own time. We're not paying you. If you do it on your own time, we'll publish. But that's it, okay? Like,
I swear, yeah, the Forbes piece probably gonna bring him more people, like, because it's in Forbes, bring him more attention. I swear to God, they exactly the establishment, like these people are like in this fantasy that Biden is, you know, ignoring the enemy and trying. Biden doesn't know about you. They're not who Cenk? Who's Cenk? What is that a name or is that a sound? What is a Cenk? I don't even know.
They
Like,
would confuse
yeah.
Biden if they ask Biden to participate in this online debate. He'll get confused, think it's COVID time again. That would like kill him.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Or is COVID back?
Oh,
Should I go back to the basement?
no,
Okay, I'm back in the basement. No.
Biden sees Cenk, he's gonna be immediately like, you remind me of a friend I had. That Arab man was a nice man, you know. He was just like you. The Arabs, you know, they are sweaty, but they're nice. It's like, what? No, who was that? Who was the other one? They had another one.
There's another candidate. Apparently, there's this. I heard
Which one?
he's apparently a millionaire funding his own thing. Do you know him?
Jesus.
Dean something? Dean Phillips?
No, he's probably the heir to the Philips, the electronic giant. I don't know. But, no, I'm joking.
Yeah, no, he's
Why does
USA
he-
representative, American businessman.
He looks like doesn't he look like a Lego character or something? He looks like a GUI. He looks like, oh, Pat and Matt. Google Pat and Matt.
Oh, he's the Phillips Distilling Company.
Jesus Christ, I was
Oh
right.
yeah, no,
Half right. No,
yeah, no, it's like a different, yeah.
Yeah. He's an heiress. Well, heir to something. Heiress is a woman, I think. He's heir to. But Google Pat and
Oh,
Matt.
he's also had 2 wives. Okay, he doesn't come close to.
No,
Okay, that's modest.
You're
okay,
trying.
yeah, you know, okay, fine. First one after 20 years didn't work out. 4 years later, he got a second
4
one.
years.
Okay,
If it was Cornel, it wouldn't have been a month. He was banging another legally banging in the eyes of God.
Oh, this guy. But yeah,
Man,
he's the
he's-
first. Wow, so even you didn't know who this guy is. So they
No,
just
I
found
was
some
so-
random guy like, okay, we need more than 2 people for a debate.
Yeah.
Who wants to come on?
Call everybody you know who's a member of Democratic. Anna, please, do you want to run for presidency? Anna, come on.
Man, but
But
Robbie
the-
was really funny. He was like, yeah, that wasn't really a debate. That was more like a forum. Because, of course, they're so funny. Look at Marianne. Look at what Marianne says right here.
What? Oh, God.
Hold on.
She put American flag as background.
Oh, no. Or maybe TYT did that. Who knows? I don't know, I'm joking.
That's
No,
true.
No, you're right. She did, actually. Because the other guys
Doesn't
don't
feel
think.
he needs to say anything because, first of all, it's exactly what Cenk said. It's that the president doesn't feel he needs to say anything.
Okay, this is not like an online webinar or something. You don't have to like build up on what like Cenk said. This is supposed to be a debate. Did you hear that? She's like, yeah, like piggybacking on Cenk's point. No, don't.
No, they are all, no, and they're all friendly, and I think she's playing it right just because this is TYT network.
Oh,
It's not
okay,
like,
yeah, fine.
you know what I mean? She's adding to her, like,
Yeah.
Cenk is right.
So it's right.
I
It is
don't-
a forum then. So I guess.
Yeah, it is a far. But man, that's like, geez.
I love how TYT is like the biggest institution now associated with like
Yeah, you
the
know-
other candidates running. Like, wait, TYT.
Like, I have all these really weird, freakish things going on for myself that I don't share with anyone. Like, you know, like I like things that I live in my own parallel universe. Like TYT is that, but in public. Like they're like, yeah, we're gonna live our fantasy, basically, role-playing fantasy in public. Yeah, I'm running for president. No, legally you're not running for president. No, I'm running. I'm gonna have a debate now with Marianne, another fantasy player who's running for president. Like everything we hear is in a like, what's going on?
Like us, and we're on a fantasy podcast.
True, that.
Filming
True that, yeah.
just like a fantasy world. Okay, maybe this is an alternative universe.
It is, yeah. I feel like we may have cracked. Yeah, we are in an alternative universe. But it's unbelievable. I'm pretty sure there were more people in that studio filming this shit than there were at home watching it, streaming it. Like, what was the? Do you know? Did they say what was the streaming number? I imagine less than 50,000.
TYT, man. TYT brings in still. They still have a.
No, man, I've seen their live numbers. It's like around.
Oh, live, yeah, but I wouldn't surprise if they posted clips of this and one of them does like a few 100,000.
Okay, sure. But
yeah.
I think live less than. Apparently, it was the same time as Republican debate as well. So.
Oh wow, shit, Jesus Christ.
How much? Sorry. You can see.
Democratic candidate debate response.
27,000. No, but go back.
This one 27, this one 14. Wow.
14. Jesus, nice. See, it's even lower than I thought. I thought the video would get more. I would.
Yeah, because it's not juicy, I guess. Like when they cover like people's like G-strings and thongs, I guess that's when.
Yeah, I mean, I guess even their own audience is like, who's Dean what? Dean what? Dean Brown? Dean Phillips? What's going? Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Cenk should just
man, he has a good thing going. Focus on this show and not losing Anna before you end up on the streets with Cornel.
Yeah. Cornel's children from his previous marriages.
So don't be too wild. You have this. You have Anna. Yeah, I would focus honestly all my powers on keeping Anna, no matter how much we bash on her.
Man, if he was in his second year of his show, like when we were and trying out new things, I understand. You're like, but like, yeah, man, just it's been 300 years you've been online, and just stick with this. You tried everything. Nobody likes anything you do.
Yeah, this has worked. Just don't make it worse.
Yeah,
and just make sure you keep Anna. I mean, that's
pretty much all you have. Johnny Idaho is not gonna cut.
You see, he debates Anna. He gets 116,000 views. Forget about all these other ones. Just come on and do it.
Stop doing this. Go run for presidency in Turkey or something where you can actually.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I don't know. Yeah, maybe there's another clip.
I think people can be the judge, but before people be the judge, did I put up a good case for you? The last clown. I forgot about the last clown. I guess
slightly more successful, but
not a Democrat. Technically,
yeah, true. What is he?
Running as an independent.
Everybody just running their own races. Are they all in the same race even? I don't even know.
They are in different universes right now, but we have been promised by November we're gonna have like a timeline sort of event, crossover events, sort of.
Biden comes out of the basement.
Yeah, he comes out of.
Trump comes out of the strip club.
Trump comes out of UFC championship competition or something. He's always with Dana White. But so not only he confirmed, by the way, he confirmed that he's been on Epstein plane twice. But his family were with him, so I mean that's
man. Being rich sucks. But he's rich, and someone has to give him like a plane ride to Florida.
No,
I'd be so pissed.
Yeah,
I'd be no.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm rich, so I don't have to rely on other people.
Yeah, I don't have to listen to somebody who wants to just basically eat my brain
Yeah.
because he wants to give me a ride. That's probably what's gonna happen, isn't it?
That's the whole point of being rich.
Yeah, that's the whole point of being rich is you avoid other people that accept the hot men
Yeah,
or women
exactly.
you want to, have sexual intercourse. But besides that, you avoid everybody else. And that's the whole, that's the whole weird thing about politics. These idiots who volunteer. I mean, if you're poor, I understand, but yeah, volunteer too. Yeah, I want to do a job in public eye where everybody will hold me accountable. I don't like to be in the back room somewhere where I can steal quietly. No, in front of the camera. That's dumbass. But anyway, yeah, he's a complete dumbass because he could have really easily lived under the radar, have sex with celebrities, and just enjoy his life.
But he's
no.
enjoying it, man. Maybe not
Yeah,
so
I guess
much
that's
now
true.
because I don't know how much he
I mean,
gets to talk about COVID now. Are people bored of that?
Yeah,
But I think the first
they-
6 months he was having a blast.
yeah, exactly. And he was going like even though people were like saying no, don't talk about it, he was like, no, I'm gonna talk
Yeah.
about it. But now he's
But now does
like,
anybody
no,
care?
it's
They're like,
boring.
okay, we get
Yeah.
it. I mean, what do you
Now he's like that with Israel. Every
Yeah,
other week he's
true.
like, no, Israel is not apartheid, guys. Actually, it's it's actually a nice park. We're two different segments. There are two different facilities. You have a
Swimming
slides.
pool.
You have a Ferris wheel. It's different. It's not apartheid. It's different. Okay, but it's
and
like,
he actually has a disease or no? Or can we make fun of his voice?
he thinks he got
When
it.
are we gonna get the
because-
green
no,
light
no,
on this?
we can
I've
make
been
fun, we
waiting.
can make fun of it. We can I mean, I've been making fun of it. You always like conservatively.
I'm looking for
side.
someone to give me a
Yeah.
sign, say it's okay.
No. I think it's safe because he claims to have got the problem with his voice is due to a vaccine. But that has not been confirmed by doctors. So I feel like when you claim supernatural things, it's okay to make fun of you.
Is there footage of him with like different voice like back in the day?
No, but you like if you sees all the interviews before he got famous, his voice was much worse. You know how I asked a couple of doctors how they make his voice much better for interviews? Botox.
Oh,
It relaxes the problem with the problem. I forget the name of his. Oh, let's play this.
is that
This
him? But no, as you were saying.
This is him, I guess. If it's Robert.
But no, yeah, what were you saying?
No, it relaxes the throat muscles or tendons or whatever, so they can be much more understandable, I guess. But I get this. This is him because his dad died in '60s. So yeah, this is.
Okay, let's see. Here, apparently, it's over the years.
People in Alabama and George Wallace certainly is. He's had a great effect on, I think, the entire South and on the civil rights movement in this country.
Okay, here's completely normal.
Because of the political structure down there.
Products and supermarkets and specialty stores has shown that real environmental stewardship is possible, but new record-setting pesticide. Sister Kerry Kennedy and Senator from Idaho.
Okay, it kicks in here.
So if I get a question about Taco Bell, you'll know where it came from. My uncle Teddy's best friend in the Senate for a long time was a guy called John Culver, who was.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Just he claims that it was because of the vaccine. Apparently, he was also a heroin addict. So
Stop.
Oh yeah, Google that. I'm pretty sure one of his addictions was heroin. And I mean, look, man, addiction is something I guess happens to people. I mean, I know we made fun of. I think sex addiction, like Cornel, is much more stupid than his dad died very young. His uncle died, so whatever. But it could have. So I think that's what he claims with the vaccine thing. Like doctors and others say that it could have been because of many others.
So I'm on the board, in addition to working for NRDC and Waterkeepers, I'm on the board of one of the largest green tech venture capital firms in the country. One of our
man, he suddenly changes.
Yeah, it's the voice,
his behavior and everything. The way his
kind of the centerpiece of who Barry Goldwater was. He thought it was legit. He thought. And also, just recognize two people in the room. My mother, Ethel Kennedy?
No, sorry, you always kind of had that.
No, yeah. But he's he's an interesting character. Oh, he turned out to being he was on a Epstein plane. What else? There was some other update about him. I forget. I don't know. But anyways, the
Yeah, I
clowns are
guess
all
I did
trying their
seem to have
best.
a heroin thing. 1983 article, New York Times.
Oof.
Faces charge of heroin possession. Ooh, that's so cool. I would love to see the original. Was charged with heroin possession today. Wow, 2 days after he announced he was seeking treatment for a drug problem, he said he was determined to beat. Single charge of heroin possession stemmed from an investigation began Sunday. Mr. Kennedy was reportedly to have become ill in the washroom of an airliner that stopped in Rapid City. Mr. Kennedy, 28-year-old son of Senator Robert F. Kennedy. Okay.
28, Jesus. Yeah, 28.
Yeah.
But so, like I'm saying, there can be a lot of candidates for the
sure.
real cause of the thing. But so now that we've gone through all the clowns, is Cornel the top dog, or what do you think? Did any of the other candidates manage to beat him in ridiculousness? I mean, I still think Cenk's
I was gonna say
campaign is
Cenk, man. Cenk is a bit
just so stupid. It's
Yeah.
beyond. It's like
Yeah.
I don't want to use the word, but it's the R word is the only thing that
Yeah.
comes to
No,
mind.
it's like just no, yeah, like Cornell's doesn't need to be stupid, but Jenks can only be stupid. Like he can't, like there's nothing he can do for it to even be serious. It's not even, it's out of his hands, kind of. And he in a way makes it worse with his dumb reasoning that he gave for why he's running. Like his excuses like even made it like stupider. His justification, sorry.
It's every word that comes out of his mouth makes him sound more delusional.
Yeah.
And frankly, just crazy. I don't know how else to put it.
And I mean, Marianne Williamson, you just kind of feel bad because I mean, I think her campaign went even worse than anybody would have thought.
Yeah, that was really I genuinely thought she had a chance in the beginning because she has that sort of
the no primary at all really fucked her over probably more than the others because she probably has a better chance of winning, I don't know, a couple of random Democrat women, like actually mainstream Democrats women or something. Although she's tried that, right? In the last time, but I guess maybe she's more.
Yeah, but last time that's the thing. Last time was just the tease. Now this time she could have, I think, built on that. But the fact that she's
actually
can
good for
complain
TV.
a bit.
Yeah.
She's very good for TV. She was
better than this kind of YouTube thing because now it's just kind of like
her original national fame came from the fact that she went on Oprah to promote that shitty book. So I think she's more TV. But the problem with her, I guess, is that I mean, none of them are, I guess, policy-wise at least, are standouts. And I mean, they're interesting, but they're not like they're not so interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean.
And RFK, to his credit, he did decent online and maybe even outside, even in real life a little bit right now. So you can only make fun of him so much. So I think that leaves Cenk really as the biggest jackass at the moment. But Cornel definitely the funniest. Like, I mean, these guys, there's not much to talk about. Cornel, you can just laugh over the things for like 2 days.
Yeah, yes, Cenk is just one sentence, and
I don't know what to say to Cenk. You can't run. I don't know what to say. It's not me. It's still.
I don't legally like not. I don't. It's like Cenk, you can't have a baby. Like you don't have the necessity. I don't know what to tell you. But RFK, I would give him. Yeah, he's. I sometimes think he might genuinely be like a democratic operation to break Trump vote. That's like sometimes that's the like that's. I don't know. It just seems so
Oh
weird.
man,
the
he should
way
have stuck to that Democrat thing. Who knows?
Why?
Biden dies, they get desperate. They're like, "Fuck you, come."
Yeah, but they
We have
might
3 weeks to go. I don't know.
sure, but I guess
Can you
now,
do
even
that?
now, he can change back to Democrats. Can he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
He
to
should
be honest,
have
he can do
stuck
anything.
there. I don't know.
You think Biden is that close to death? I
No,
think the
but
fact that they are so confident about running Biden, I think they probably have some like device that are sure they can keep him on for like a year. Or like we have 3 more times we can use these pills and these injections, and we like each lasts for like 2 months. So like I think they feel like they're pretty sure they can
maybe,
keep him
or it's just
alive
that
until a
Biden
month after election.
for the administration is just so like the obvious, easiest thing to do right now that they're
Oh,
just like
that too.
fully committed and they just have their fingers crossed and they're like, come on, you've
think
come so
fingers
far,
crossed?
you've live a few more years, while you're at it.
Just one more year, not just win the election and then die. We don't care. Like, it's just, yeah, exactly. I think that's either way, as you say, what their fingers, like what they're hoping for,
Yeah.
or they actually have like certain, I think, assurances from either medical professionals or
Yeah.
perhaps higher authorities, Satan. Maybe they made a deal with him, like extend his life by 3 years, and you can have the soul of all of Floridians. Oh, you already have their souls? All right, we'll give you Texas people's soul. Is that good? Okay, all right.
Very popular nowadays.
It's
It's not back
Joe
before.
Rogan,
No.
Joe Rogan moved there. Couple
Joe-
of, Austin is very up and coming. So that's to be honest, that's my guess.
Yeah. No,
I'm
you're right
betting
though.
they
They're
made a
very
deal with
confident.
Satan.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what
I
are you
mean, they
gonna
have-
do? Sometimes you can just hope for the best, and it's just so
Yeah, to
much
be
work
fair,
otherwise.
yeah,
Otherwise they're like, fuck. Like, what are we gonna do right now?
Gavin Newsom, they have Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg.
That's why
They are the
RFK, man. That's why they should have maybe.
RFK. The problem with RFK is he's not a good listener. You see,
Yeah.
like you tell him not to talk about something, and he goes on talking about it.
You're right. You're right.
You see? Kamala, Pete, they're good listeners.
Yeah. No, you're right. A bit of liability. Alrighty, Sam. We had a lot of fun. Should we just redo the previous segment again? Actually, just different.
So how's Cornel?
I'll introduce some different facts. Did you know about the sixth wife?
Let's roll play. I
Let's
pretend
roll.
to be somebody else. I pretend to be you. You pretend to be me.
So no, or
Let's
okay,
do it offline. We'll do it
let's-
after it's not appropriate for our audience.
But yeah, okay, so yeah, in
So
other news,
in other news, so let's just quickly go through some geopolitical news. I guess we had the ongoing Israeli-Hamas conflict, which, I mean, it's kind of escalating, but they had a pause, but then the pause is stopped. So I don't know, like, and regionally, some people say there is still a threat of war. Today, another teenager was killed by Israel in Lebanon. So there is a chance Lebanon will enter the war, but it seems less and less likely after the initial stage of the war passed.
and that'll be the most. I mean, Lebanon is the most vulnerable. Other ones are
going to the
completely
war?
different. Yeah, other countries are.
Yeah.
It's a completely different story and league.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's I mean, other country first. I mean, I would say, what
And
do you
of
mean?
course,
Like,
Syria. I mean, you
like
can,
there are no
they
other
just get
countries.
they get
Yeah,
bombed for
exactly.
fun for no reason.
No, I mean, if Hezbollah does have probably one of the strongest armies in the Middle East, but like it's so the Middle East is so weird now. I don't even know what to. But anyways, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and they keep UN is trying to pretend that they matter or something, like, and issuing this call and that call. We issue resolution 96. Oh no, not resolution 90. Oh, like Guterres is trying to justify his existence or something. But US keeps basically spitting in their face and saying no. So today, again, I think this is the 5th time they vetoed the UN resolution to call for ceasefire, because they said it's not a, listen, guys, this ceasefire is rushed and only will plant the seeds of more conflict. So let's wait a couple of more days. Israel, have you finished killing Palestinians? No? Okay, let's wait another couple of days. Okay, are you finished now? Okay, you're finished? Okay, now maybe we can. Yeah, so,
you know what, we're at the end of the year. Might as well wait until January.
Guys, they need 2 more months to kill all the Palestinians. Can you wait 2 more months before the ceasefire? So, yeah, and Israelis are based. They didn't even give visa to the UN lady who was supposed to go there and inspect some things. So Israel is basically telling the world to go fuck itself, including UN. And frankly, in this part, I am kind of with Israel. They can go fuck themselves. Like, they think after all their, like, the double standard is just like, who gives a shit about what UN thinks? In my view, nobody cares, and they are completely, I don't know. Do you think people should, like, there seems to be quite a lot of people who seem to think it matters?
No, no, not at all. Like I always say, it depends who at the UN. So the agencies and organizations, they're just delivering some aid, they're doing their best. The resolutions, I'm guessing, comes from what's the one where all the countries are part of, which is pretty much
not
nothing.
Security.
Yeah.
Not Security Council.
Exactly, the other one.
General thing.
Yeah. So that
General
one,
Assembly. Assembly. Yeah.
So that one almost has no way kind of here. Yeah, only if the Security Council, and that would mean that the US would pretty much have to side, I guess, with Russia and China, right?
Oh, by the way, UK abstained too. So let's say like 2 countries, although UK is basically a colony of US. So
yeah, but they have the veto thing, right? It all comes down to that. So
British too, they have the veto thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, come on, man. Britain is a real country. Okay, stop doing this to me.
So yeah, and anyway, long story short, I agree with you. They have the weight of it, for instance, when it comes to Israel, Gaza, and they're like UN says, like, the UN Palestinian organization, whatever, says blah blah. People believe it more than other stuff, so they do have that weight kind of bringing, I guess, some sympathy. But
they have credibility. I guess.
They have credibility, exactly. But you're right. Otherwise.
But where do you stand on do you think deterioration of UN as an institution, deterioration or undermining of it, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't think it's anything new, though.
No, it's not anything new, but at an escalated rate. Do you think that's this trend towards UN becoming more and more, just ridiculous, like, it's just unrelated to reality? Is that, do you think, good or bad? That it's becoming more widespread, the realization of this reality or fact? Because, like, back in the days, people used to, like, I think, good, because maybe we do something.
Good question, but no, I would just say it's so in a way irrelevant that it's kind of indifferent at this point. I've never personally lived through a time where it would be that impactful and strong.
No, but I agree with you 100%. I'm just saying the realization of this fact has become so widespread now. I hope, but I don't know.
The realization in a way is kind of a bit too much, like, also based on misunderstanding and like also misconceptions and misrepresentation. So that's why I don't know. I kind of find it hard to be that it's good or bad, because
I guess I am putting it very simple. I'm just saying maybe there is a space to come up with something better, or
But not now, because now, I mean, the trend is moving like kind of for the last 4 or 5 years, maybe like a bit away from globalization, right? So there's no movement towards such a thing, right? Towards like something that would replace that. There's no way
look, generically I agree with you. I know exactly what you're referring to, as in, you know, I do think overall globalization is inevitable and is ongoing, and it's been ongoing for 100%. But I think you're right about the legal trends, financial trends and all that. I'm just saying it might take a better form instead of trying to reform this bullshit organization, which I think is largely just a waste of money.
It's really weak, man. It has like, because, you know, the UN Security Council is what? I could host the UN Security Council in my living room, right? It's just like, it's a living room.
It's a glorified TYT.
No, it's a hall. It's a living room where like the world's biggest countries come together and they just talk and they have a few rules. So, you know, I could replicate that.
I would say.
And then the agencies are just the biggest international organizations out there. So the best they can do is kind of humanitarian aid and all that, which, you know what a lot of people think, that's just like a band-aid on it. That can't solve anything. Like, there's no UN organization that can put an end to this except the UN Security Council, and that would mean the US putting an end to it. So even thinking about it in UN terms is kind of like, you know, like when I think of the Security Council, I think of US, Russia, China, and the countries, right? I mean, it does very little to do. And UK. No, and UK. And UK, of course. But you don't get what I mean. It has nothing to do with
I know.
quote unquote UN.
No, I guess, no, my point is that I feel like a lot of attention and perhaps money is wasted on UN as a positive international sort of forum. Maybe it can go to other places.
Man. The countries who pay for it, they get their way with that. So yeah.
Sure. No, sure. Yeah. I'm just saying that maybe instead of this, I just find this ridiculous calls for respecting international law, or, you know, I like, as I think somebody we had on, Jean Bajelon, point that international law was completely okay with Libya being turned into a hellhole. So I'm just saying, I feel like, as you say, it's been irrelevant in reality for since its inception, you can argue, and it has become even clearer in more recent years. So
and these things such as international law and all this, some of its strongest things that it has, like the Geneva Convention or whatnot, all these like predated or go from the beginning and kind of from its
World War I
heyday, right?
Treaties,
like, exactly.
Yeah, there are treaties. Yes. I just feel like if we lived in a more honest, like, what is Guterres's point? Like, what is, like, you know what I mean? Like, if we didn't have all the BBC and Guardian news stories about UN called this a very bad thing, it's also, they said they don't like how, you know, they punched them in the face. This was like, what is the point of this? Like, you know, it's just.
No, I mean, Guterres has no say.
Like, what's the, like, it's my uncle also condemned the Israeli. No, like, I don't understand. Why do I need
some
to know
public,
this
some public
Portuguese man's opinion?
Except some public, Portuguese, some public perception. But you're absolutely right. But then I was just thinking, the WHO is the exception here. They've perhaps maybe grown a bit in influence, but also like insane amount of hatred as well. Sometimes I meet people and they're like suddenly like WHO this and that. I'm like, wait, but this impacts you how? Like, are we still talking about, like, what are you talking about? Like, I get what you mean, but like, wait, like this impacted you last week.
I know.
They came to your house.
I kind of know who Camille is complaining about. No. And yes, they are. Yeah, I know.
No, I have this one friend, like, even like the other day when he brought it up, I was like, oh, I haven't thought of the WHO in like months. Like, what media do you consume that this is so in your mind?
Camille.
You know what I mean?
Let me. Have you heard of what was Brandon Schwab? No, not Brandon Schwab. Klaus Schwab or Klaus something. I've heard about him.
That was the funniest.
the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, that one like
behind
video
everything.
clip from 2016 that they found on Facebook. This explains everything.
Guys, a rich guy has, has delusions that he wants to run the world. We didn't think that at all. We didn't think this is possible.
But
Man.
shit, yeah, back to Israel-Palestine.
Yeah, Israel-Palestine, the latest, as we mentioned, is U.S. vetoed the ceasefire. A lot of people are saying this might play a role in U.S. elections, and the polls right now are to an extent showing that.
That's surprising.
But I don't, Camera convinced me that no, it doesn't. Like and Mr. Finkelstein, Professor Finkelstein was also said that I think most people are gonna forget.
That was gonna bring down Biden.
And that was and no, not even that. I was thinking of George Bush years when people were saying how unpopular the war is and all that, but then he won a re-election. I would add, by the way, in Afghanistan and Iraq, there were American soldiers involved. Here, there isn't. So that's another thing that adds to your argument. I would say this. This is unprecedented, not in terms of violence or anything like that, but in terms of exposure of violence and brutality. I'm sure in 1990s, more recently, even in a lot of countries, but I've never seen so many people who used to be quite pro-Israeli just being ashamed, just completely like, oh, the video, like, no, we don't support this. Like, we like them, but not them. We like them like their fathers or something. I don't know what is this. So it's very odd. I mean, it seems completely unacceptable to, like, I've never seen anything on this scale of just
that's a
moral
very good
bankruptcy. But then again, I doubt, like there is no relation between morality and political reality. So
but still, I mean, enough, if like there's a big public thing like that and their propaganda is so lazy and
it's been bad. And it's just when so many so many videos of children just mutilated, and it's so fucked up. I mean,
and the build-up is crazy.
And nobody's buying it anymore. It's
that's the thing.
It's so weird. It's nobody's buying it, but it keeps going on. So,
man, with this issue, there isn't like what we always talk about, like history and like historical, I guess, like memories being faded and people not remembering things. With this, I don't know. Like, it's just the narrative has been so consistent and built up that people have a good memory and understanding of previous things and things when it comes to this issue. More than other stuff, I feel. I don't know.
I disagree. I think recent years, through good work of other people, people have internalized, mostly outside of US, but even inside US, young people have internalized that it's a dichotomy of basically a exploitation by an evil ruler of a people. And that's what motivates everybody to be so, I think, I don't think they know about the history of Al-Nakba and all that. Everybody just knows about the fact that it's, the
not that far,
thing,
but people know about the occupation. I don't know.
I think that's the thing, like the occupation, the language of occupation, it's apartheid state. That helps people sort of, I think, sort of change their narrative about Israel, which was, when I was growing up, I feel that was the narrative, that Israelis are trying to modernize the country and create
that doesn't fly anymore.
That doesn't just simply fly, because to be honest, I mean, maybe I used to be, as a kid, as like a 7-year-old, I like to qualify that with the fact that I was genuinely a kid. I was 7 something. I used to be very pro-Israeli, but this genuinely happened to me in my life, but I think it happened with a lot of people, that you grow up and you get more information and you're just, just horrified. It's just so horrifying. The things they do is just. But then again, I wonder if it will have any real effect, though. This, whether it's a historical memory or whether it's this black and white dichotomy. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but
it seems unprecedented. That's all. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, and fuck, but this piece of shit though, Bill Maher, we have to listen to what he says. Now that doesn't seem to have worked on him. Man, I hate this gaslighting or whatever you call this fucker.
Bill Maher, you call him a dumbass that doesn't know shit from shit. Yeah, I love the fact that he's completely brainwashed by this fantastical history or image of Israel he has. Which, by the way, again, when I was 7 years old, I had the same idea.
But his also his argument, like we listen here, like I think the term gaslight.
But then he thinks the other.
Maybe like applies perfectly to him, because he just like changes the conversation. I mean, not the conversation, but I mean he's just putting words in people's mouth. I don't know.
I don't exactly remember what he said, but yeah, let's play some so I can refresh.
It's short here.
But I would add, just in Robbie's reaction, you can see how weirdly, like, even he seems so defensive. He knows everything he says in the comment section is gonna be. It's very fascinating.
I didn't watch this whole video because it was 26 minutes, but I was actually surprised. They write that Robbie and Bri brawl over Bill Maher's claim, but I listened to him. I don't know. I want to say 7 or 8 minutes, perhaps. Robbie was his most chilled. Actually, and the most like okay, I see.
After we play this part, let's go play the last minute.
Okay, yeah. Because I was surprised here, because I mean, because his usual tactic has been like, oh, I don't know anything, and then going into defensive mode.
No, but now he knows that there are university students who are saying very, very threatening and racist stuff. That's all he knows, though. other when you talk about Israel, it goes back 1,000 years. It's I don't want to think about it.
Exactly. Pretty much what he does.
No, I swear to God, he does that at the end of this video. You'll see it. He does that. It's 1,000 years. Who occupied who?
Seriously though, that's kind of what he does.
So coincidentally, between the ages of 13 and 34,
very short, sorry,
reason for the pro-Palestine protests that have taken place across the country.
This is what I see when I see kids demonstrating, these progressives demonstrating for Hamas, the most illiberal people in the world, that, oh good, we're going to give America its comeuppance, asshole America. They kind of have been indoctrinated this way.
All right.
You see, that's what I hate. He brings his liberalism thing into it and all that. And like, it's just a very bad faith representation of like the protests that are going on over it. Just like a complete piece of shit. The bigger piece of shit version of this, which I refuse to talk about this video, is when you send me this unheard clip with this lady and unheard interview with this lady, and oh boy, is she a piece of shit the way she conflicted the whole
I
thing
left the comment
in
on
the
this
very
video.
beginning.
I was so pissed
Where is it?
off,
What's
man.
it called? What was her stupid name?
Ayaan Hirsi Ali.
I mean, she gave some of the biggest confusing propaganda bullshit in the first few minutes when she talked about this. I mean, anyway, that's the most I.
Let's keep this video. Keep this video because I don't want to play, but I want to give you some background about it. She's a true, genuine monster. Like I cannot think of anybody lower.
I didn't make it further than this. She was a complete piece of shit.
Oh, I'm surprised you even made it this way. I was kind of hate watching this. I mean, I'll come back to her, but yeah, let's go back to the Robbie thing. I mean, I 100% agree with you, but what I was pointing at, it's just so funny that the thing is, Bill Maher is somebody who I used to genuinely enjoy, and sometimes I still agree with. So I don't think he's like he's in the pocket of Israel lobby.
No,
he's actually the brainwashed one. But it's so funny that he's like, motherfucker. Do you think the people who are the most expansionist people in Israel. They would have your atheist ass, you know, hanged from a tree before you can, you know, take a puff from your spliff. So you're the stupid one. At least those young students, they may have some misconceptions about Hamas, but I genuinely think they are much more clearer on Hamas than what Bill Maher thinks what the Israeli government is, or what American government, frankly.
And that's a good point. And that's if we discredit all these people and students that much, because, I mean, you know.
Some of them are, I mean, in my experience, especially when you come to young people, they don't know. And by the way, have some fucking have some fucking sympathy or some, you know, generosity for the youth. Like, you know, they are allowed. I remember one of my teachers in first year of university told me specifically, you guys are allowed to have like more extreme positions, you know. So, you know, anyway.
And you learn, and of course, all these things you learn new information and new things, and over time you have a slightly more nuanced position.
Or maybe not even nuanced, but just more central view or whatever. But yeah, he's just condescension for somebody so lacking in knowledge is
no, exactly. He thinks he's so clever with what he was saying there, right? Oh, you guys like liberalism? Well, Hamas is the most liberal person ever.
Oh my God, they believe in head job.
Yeah. So clever you are. So clever you are.
I mean, these idiots. I mean, I gotta say though, because I come across a lot of Bill Maher like people. I would say northern Tehran is largely populated by Bill Maher like creatures. And
Iranian Bill Myers.
You know,
Persian Bill Myers. Sorry.
Persian Bill Myers, yeah. Bill Myers, but it's slightly darker. I mean, they genuinely think like the most important issue in just your life is just how you dress. That is like the most, like the fact that you be able to wear shorty shorts is like must be the defining politics. Like, you know, I know Hamas is fighting for Palestinian freedom, but they are anti me wearing a t-shirt. So no. So no, so I'm gonna go with the apartheid state of Israel. That is what I'm gonna go with now. Jesus Christ. Anyway, yeah. But you just go play the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Let's watch a few minutes at the end so we don't miss it. There we go.
A bit further back, maybe in the middle, he does exactly that thing. That,
okay, I'll watch a bit in the middle.
Maybe go further down. I think it's about here. Yeah, start.
Let's watch a bit here.
He throws his eyes like, you and the left want to you want to educate? What's the word? This forever. You want to talk about this forever, basically. But these thousands of years of history and thousands of years. Sure.
Continue to focus disproportionately on those lives when there's an opportunity and a news value in covering the ongoing carnage. That's the issue. And that's what's happening on Twitter and TikTok and every other website is new images of an unfolding horror. And that is not at all a detraction from the innocent lives that were lost on October 7th. It just isn't. What is a detraction from the contemporary lives that are being lost is having to both sides 50-50 every conversation about the loss of life, because it is not 50-50, and it hasn't been 50-50 since about one day after October 7th.
There was celebration of it. You're right. There wasn't both siding of it. There was endorsement of it, and that's what I find so appalling about the state of the activist left on college campuses.
This isn't a conversation about.
What was a conversation about what young people think on this issue?
Young people. I hate to break it to you, but most 34-year-olds are not in college.
The most active group on this issue takes that position. Black Lives Matter took this position. The Democratic Socialists took this position.
Do you think the people who
politically active young people endorse Hamas?
Do you think the people who are leading Jewish Voice for Peace are 18-year-olds on college campuses?
I called out specific groups.
Man, sometimes just mute for a second. They're like weirdly obsessed with what goes on college campuses.
Oh yeah, I do think this has more to do with any they're
talked to them about their strategy. I've talked to them about
blame on this issue.
Yeah, sorry, just pause that. Sorry, I didn't do that.
It's not necessarily like this time. It's just there was one group in one college that said one sentence that could be interpreted in both ways. So that's representation of all people who want ceasefire for Palestinians.
Seriously.
Beliefs and their faith and what leads them to want to do this kind of activism. And I implore everyone else to do the same and listen to them from their horse's mouth. Because right now, as we talk also, our own Congress is trying to say that their Jewish activism is anti-Semitism, because anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. That's the most recent resolution they're trying to pass. And they're trying to, people like Josh Hawley are trying to ban TikTok. And they're trying to, they've banned SJP from these Florida schools. Ron DeSantis did that. And there's an authoritarian pogrom against people who have different kinds of beliefs across the world. So if your focus is that somebody somewhere in the wake of October 7th said something that you think unfairly and wrongly endorses the murder of civilians, you have that right. But I'm sorry, I cannot stay in that space while so much else is going on. I just cannot.
We can't. I don't want to just call out, but I do. I feel like I do call out statements that are made by Israeli officials that I don't support. I don't support a lot of what they're doing. I don't support giving them money regardless. But we have to also acknowledge
national organizations and the death tolls of 15,000 people, the overwhelming majority of whom are innocent, having their lives lost with the complicity of our government.
I don't think it would be fair for anyone to take away from what I have to say that there's like a lack of sympathy for the deaths of the Palestinians, given how many times do I have to say that I don't want to fund what they're doing. I wish they would not do what they're doing. I don't think there's any hope for this situation to stop, given that Israel has total support for doing this. Their government wants to do it, and Hamas wants a fight and has no intention of surrendering or ending this conflict. And the people of Palestine, to the extent they have any political will, essentially support violence against Israel. So there's going to be this battle, and it's going to happen, and it's terrible to watch, and I wish it wouldn't. I wish they would accept some kind of Western liberal democracy, multi-state, whatever solution. I hope everyone can get their own state. I'm for individual freedom and not being, trod over or oppressed. That's just totally naive, given what the two sides in the conflict actually want.
Very useful, very useful.
Yeah, well, there's an absence of, even if you think that something is part of why there's this dissonance.
Well, it's very
the last 30 seconds
easy to affirm that. Ideally, what should happen?
For getting sniped off by the IDF. The Great March of Return in 2018. They tried to peacefully protest.
It's just Palestinians' fault.
But they tried to peacefully protest by just walking next to the wall and saying, we want to end the liberation. And for weeks, Palestinians sniped and shot and killed those peaceful protesters. Israelis sniped and shot and killed those protesters, so much so that there's a whole class of people who have below the waist amputations because of the behavior of the IDF when they tried these other ways.
I'm not in a position to adjudicate every dispute between these two peoples and these two regions, and I don't care. I wish the violence would end. I would be happy to reach any reasonable or even unreasonable solution for political rights so there's not further violence. That's what I want, and that's what I care about. And unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be the case for the reasons I've discussed. But I share the same goals you do. We seem to be revolted by somewhat different things.
Yes, I'm revolted by the fact that 214 Palestinians, including 46 children, were killed in the Great March of Return, and 36,000, including nearly 8,800 children, were injured by Israel as they tried to peacefully agitate for their liberation.
And then I can say all of the people that were injured by Palestine, and then you can say, oh, but there were more injured by Israel. Israel did this, and then the conversation goes nowhere. But we share the same goal. So what can we do?
But it's okay. Right. We'll leave it there. Stick around. We'll have more Rising for you right after this.
I mean, it comes a bit from his libertarian, I guess, thinking that he thinks the most important thing is his personal positioning towards Israeli-Palestine. When your government, American government, has taken a position on the issue, the deciding position on the issue, in fact. And I mean, again, I personally, I don't know if have you seen the movie with Daniel Craig? What's the movie with Daniel Craig and Liv Schneidberg? They play two Jewish people who led the resistance against the Nazis, with guns and stuff, like killing Nazis, and this is something Norm Finkelstein brings up. I guess the question is, in this context, do you think Palestinians are justified in using the violence or not? And I think if you go and steal somebody's land, kill their, for example, right now, Israelis are saying they're looking for Yahya Sinwar. Have you heard of his name?
No, no.
He's head of the, I think, the intelligence segment of Hamas. So they're looking for Yahya Sinwar, and there is all these articles about his, he's this, mastermind of the terrorist attacks by Palestine. And then you go to his Wikipedia page and you read his family used to live in Ashkelon. They were kicked out, I think during Al-Nakba, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe later. They were kicked out of their homes. So their land was stolen. His family home was stolen. He had to live in a refugee camp in Gaza area. And then he became like a leader. Like,
what do you expect to happen? Like,
yeah, exactly. What did you think?
Yeah.
According, to be honest, based on his background, frankly, well done. You did great, man. Like, you become a minister. I had parents and all that taking care of me, and I'm still a fucking loser. It's like,
no, that's the thing. When something happens to someone at a personal level, it's just a different story.
Exactly. Like,
that's why I sometimes understand the Iranian people who had it good or whatnot before the revolution, and then the revolution happened to them. Like, the disdain that's left on them, it has to boil down, I think, to me, because something so personal happened to them.
That's
and the way that
true.
they see
Although
the rest.
I would say the timing.
Of course, it was nowhere near
this
bad. Of course, it was nowhere near as bad as happened here. But I'm just saying that because it was personal, they just see the whole thing through this personal lens. When something happens to you personally, even the smallest thing, it's hard to let go in your head. You have a bad interaction with a waiter or a waitress at a restaurant. For 6 weeks, you're talking about how you could, get back at this person if you could relive the moment. Oh, now I know what I would have said.
Why now?
I'm going back to that restaurant.
Let's recreate the situation. Okay, you spill the tea on me again. No, it's exactly. I mean, in Middle East, it's really ridiculous. I'm sorry, but Jews are still going on about Purim and all that, which was an attempted genocide or something. I'm sorry, if you're not letting go of things from 7,000 years ago, you're not in a position to tell people, let it go, make it the end. What do you mean? His dad and mom, his parents were kicked out of. Anyway. So I mean, I feel like a lot of people that's why libertarians and a lot of people, I guess, not libertarians necessarily, people like Robbie, they don't want to go into the history. They don't want to, think about the 1,000, because there is no 1,000 years. There's about 70 years, and it's very simple. Bunch of people showed up to a place and started stealing land. Okay, that's as simple as it can get. There is nothing really complicated about it.
Not if you have RFK. RFK is one guy who likes to go down the history. I'll give him that. He just has his own.
Look, Jews showed up. First Israelis, there was first a park on this side and a park on that side. Okay, and then Palestinians, they did some maneuvering, and the parks got mixed. He's different.
He's his own style.
He's his own style. But no, I mean, it's a very one-sided thing. But I'm sure Palestinians have committed atrocities too. It's justified. It's, in my view, when I'm sure Iranians committed atrocities when they were trying to take back their cities. Americans, Americans, to be honest, it's because America is very young. Nothing, just Americans have just committed atrocities. They never really defended themselves. So it's pretty much been an atrocity since the beginning onwards. But that's just because you're young. I'm sure soon enough you'll have your own. I'm sure Mexico will attack you at some point or something. Yes. Canada will try to take over. No, you don't think so? I'm
still trying to keep people warm there. That's their biggest issue.
Yeah, that's
we need more people, guys. It's too cold here. Who wants to move?
Guys, let's attack America. But we are not warm yet. All right, let's wait. Guys, put more wood on the stove, So Anyways, yeah, that's Israel and Palestine, I guess, for you. We talked about it way more than I thought.
Oh, but there was the Andrew Tate thing. I saw this a long time ago.
No, I just
so I don't know if you have.
I thought he talked more sense on this than most people, which I found surprising because he personalized it in a sense that, like, you keep people like on the left, especially people who are like, we don't condone Hamas's actions. Motherfucker, stay hungry for a couple of weeks and then let's talk about actions. Like, have you been hungry? Have you been poisoned?
No, listen, he knows how to put things together, and when those kind of add up with a bit of common sense, they come through well.
I guess, yeah, that's yeah. And do you think he's on drugs? Because I'm pretty sure he's on drugs, right? What do you think? He seems very worked up about.
I mean, he says that all he does is drink coffee, and then he just eats
that makes
steak at night. I don't know how his stomach is not killing him. He says he has like 10 coffees a day. He just has like coffee nonstop.
Really? And a steak
until nighttime. Yeah.
But
I mean, who knows any of this is
if that's
real
true or not. I mean, to be honest, if that's true, it's more impressive than doing drugs. Really, like his asshole must be made out of iron or something, like to handle that.
Or his asshole hasn't seen anything in years. Doesn't even know how to carry out its duties and functions. It's okay. I've forgotten how to poop.
But the meat must be. I mean, the coffee, I guess, maybe.
But it has nothing to pass through. The coffee is like, okay, we have nothing to.
No, the coffee. There is so much coffee that it liquidates the steak, and all of it goes peace. Yeah, peace out. It's just that's the only. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's better than doing drugs. I guess.
Too funny.
Yeah, but that was it. To be honest, there is nothing.
Alrighty, Sam. Let's continue. So we're on Piers Morgan. So let's actually finish. Let's just watch this little clip of Piers Morgan that he shows of this BBC lady who shows her the middle finger. And then I just remembered we never went back to your point on this piece of shit. So maybe I'll give you 2 minutes to go back to that. But let's just wrap up with Piers Morgan here. And so this BBC lady, right, who showed the middle finger. I have 2 questions for you. One is a more of a serious question. Were there any hold on, I'm just trying to, it's because it happens so quickly. I just want to pause it to when she does it. Were there any repercussions to were there any repercussions like in mainstream media and the mainstream world to her? Yeah, to this. That's my first question.
Last time I checked, no, but things could have changed. By the way, I mean, I think Marianne Moshiri, that's her name. You can Google and her, see if she's been fired yet. But I doubt, I hope, like, this is, I mean, I seriously hope she doesn't get fired for this. Google.
I was joking around a bit with the team in the gallery. I was pretending to count down as the director was counting me down. And, when you see the expression on her face, she didn't look like she was like throwing a big fit or something, no? She looks like she was
having
chilling.
Fun,
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it was, the transition is quite funny though.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I'll play that for just a second.
Play the transition.
Is Mariam Moshiri, a chief presenter for the BBC News Channel.
Live from London, this is BBC News.
I don't know why we did this.
Live from London.
So she gets paid the big bucks, huh?
Yes.
When you can transition like that to the news anchor concerned look, that's like the concerned look.
Now in Gaza, children are dying.
Where's the fucking pizza? I'm starving here.
It's a truly were you a big, I don't remember if you were one of the group of people who Anchorman. Do you remember that movie? But with Will Ferrell, he's a anchor person.
Yep.
Yeah, but there is that the reason he gets fired. There's a real, there's a bit. It's very famous in the movie because he reads anything they put on the teleprompter. He reads it. He doesn't. He's so stupid. He just reads whatever is on the teleprompter. That's a running gag, and they put it on the teleprompter. He's like, and goodbye and fuck you, San Diego. That's the city. It was a real, genuine, like Anchorman moment. It was a real one. It was quite interesting. Yeah, Piers Morgan. The evidence, the best evidence that people who are after money are better than people who have ideals. He's had the best Palestinian coverage out of everyone. It's unbelievable. Like there are democracy now. He's like, how does he get these? We are trying to get this. How did he get that Arab guy? We're supposed to get the best Arab guy.
That local Arab.
We only talk about local Arab people. How did they get?
Yeah. And yeah, anything you want to say on this piece of shit, Ayaan?
Oh man, she's genuinely the truest scum. I mean,
man, in the beginning, she links literally like the Israel-Palestine protests that go on in London, where half of them are white people. He links that to immigration. She links that to immigration and people having different values. And like, isn't protesting like the world's biggest value in the UK? Like, isn't that like a prime value of democracy? Isn't that like the quintessential? Yeah. So I was like, what are you even talking about?
No, I mean, she's a true scum. She's one of those people who was a Muslim that converted to atheism and I like to, again, that's the qualification I really wanted to make, to be honest, for everyone. Even at the height of my atheist loving stuff, like when I was as they say in Persian, when I was praying towards the Mecca that is Bill Maher and Christopher Hitchens, I always hated this bitch. And because
I never knew her before this video. I've only heard her for 8 minutes.
Oh no, I knew her because she married another person who I used to really like, Neil Ferguson.
Oh really?
You know him? Yeah. He left his wife for her. I think it's anyways, sick wife, I've heard. I don't know if it's true.
Oh yeah.
Neil, not Neil. Neil. It's written in a weird. Yeah, it's the other one. The other one in Google down there. Yeah, the other one. This one.
No, okay, I don't know.
Anyway, at any rate, he's a famous British historian. His early work is quite good, I would still say, but he has moved to he's done some ridiculous things. Anyways, she used to be a Muslim. She converted to atheism, and now she's a Christian. She's converted to Christianity because she believes there is the unique features of Judeo-Christian traditions have led to freedom of speech and tolerance, which she doesn't have for Muslims, by the way. She's like, I mean, we have tolerance in Judeo-Christian tradition. I like to keep the tolerance between us, not the Muslims.
The way she talked about these people was the craziest thing. The way she framed the people who protested for the framing of the
since we talk about it, but she's the most
trying to see where it was in the beginning.
I mean, genuinely, she's the definition of scum. I don't know how else to put it. Somebody who's I think she might be like, I would have respected her more if she didn't believe this and she did this for money. I'm pretty sure she believes this. That's the thing. She's true, just a type of a scum that would latch on to anything for money and, I guess, survival to an extent.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, play a bit of her describing, I guess, her journey or her views of the protesters.
I want to see you of protest crowd age and thoughts.
I thought of 9/11 2001.
What reflections and thoughts have you had watching this story play out in the last few weeks?
I thought of 9/11/2001, and I think that what we saw in the last few weekends, these protests, these demonstrations, all relate to the 7th of October, 2023. After 9/11/2001 happened, the reaction was we are all Americans and we are horrified. And we woke up the next morning and I think we realized that we had a global problem. I think there was a great deal of denial back then that what we were at war with was a particular religion, and that it may be a civilizational confrontation. I think first they're addressing us and they're making us privy into what they think. And when I use the word they, let me be very clear that I don't mean all Muslims, certainly not. And I don't even think all of the people who are out there protesting actually know or have a very well thought through idea of what they're protesting for, what they're protesting against. Sometimes these protests come across as recreational activities. But what should we be asking of these individuals? It is to engage with them, I think, in the most meaningful way, that the values, the religious values and the norms that they defend and that they're willing to die for are not of here, and that we are just as determined to stand for what we believe in. And there has to be a moment where we make choices, we all make choices. But part of that choice, and I remember in the 1990s, 2000s, it used to be, if you don't like it here, go back home. It's not as simple as that anymore. A lot of people who believe in this, who actually believe that Hamas is completely justified in doing what Hamas did, are born and raised here and have been to school here and have their businesses here and are raising their children here. So it's not as simple as just saying, send these people back home. But I think that there is...
You see, she's saying like...
She's
first
saying
of all, to make it seem like
generation immigrants are a threat.
That's not even a thing in the Israel-Palestinian protests. It doesn't even have anything to do with that. Some are second-generation Arabs. Half of them are literally white, like 60-year-old grandmas and grandpas. Have you ever been to one or seen them? Half of them are old white people.
I went to left, exactly. Most of them, in fact, every time I've been to a pro-Palestinian rally or a protest or a group meeting, it was led by an old Jewish lady.
Oh, that's for sure.
That it was always, they bring up the, okay, we have a Jew here, go on, tell them how much you like Palestine. Tell them. But
and the rest are like 60-year-old leftist white men and their wives.
Putting that aside, she's talking about, which she's talking in London, who, let's guess, who, a significant second-generation migrant community are Hindu Indians who are fully supportive of Israel. So what she's saying is complete bullshit and nonsense. It's just, I mean, this is a person, man, who lived in an Islamic, and she talks about an Islamic country, and I'm still living in an Islamic country, and you would think she's talking about like Mordor or like Azkaban from the prison of Azkaban from Harry Potter or something.
Only like the worst like area where they do like the genital mutilation or that, like that's her representation of like every single Muslim and non-Western country.
It's like,
let me 2 seconds after that she gets into this.
You have genitals, we want to mutilate.
I really did not misrepresent anything that
no, we don't. It's not even worth.
She said so far. No, screw it. She took so long, and the way she's like, in October 7th, 2023. Okay, we know you're talking about 2023, like as if this detail makes her seem like so, like, you know, she knows everything. Like really sharing her knowledge.
She
knows the year. Wow,
She, her husband or her former husband, I don't know where they stand.
No, they still seem to be married. I mean,
they're still married.
Cornel hasn't found her. Steal her away. Cornel, even though we don't like them, don't ruin this marriage.
Cornel, this has been going on for a few years. Please back off. Back off to your own corner with your own wife.
There are plenty of girls out there, okay?
Go find a single one. I mean, this one time I might be like, Cornel, go after her.
But Cornel...
break your heart. Break your heart like the thousands you have broken before.
And Cornel delivers quickly, you know, within 2 years,
I know, right?
he gets the girl he marries and he divorces.
Living in a love den or somewhere. It's like...
By 2025 or 26, he can wrap up the project.
With her, I don't know. It could, both ways could be great. But yeah, she's one of the worst human beings on earth. The type of person who would sell out her own people, I think, for anything. I can't think of anybody lower, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's the worst in many ways.
I didn't see this Zelensky video.
Oh, I just had that on for our like geopolitical segment, and I thought you might remember this, but I called it in the message I sent you. Ukraine? What the fuck? Because I don't think anybody. What is Ukraine? What was? I remember hearing that name. Is it a person? It's a female, right? But yeah, Ukraine has pretty much everybody's like the biggest loser of the whole Israeli-Palestinian thing. It seems like Palestinians might not win, but Ukrainians will lose. So you know that seems to be
the only
case.
People who still care are the people who want their money back. That's the only time you hear about it, like Americans. Like okay, actually, you know what? Give it back. Give it.
But the funny thing is, yeah, they clearly seem to have greenlit Project End Zelensky now, because you have all these articles about him having different yachts and having corruption all around him. And then, yeah, Kiev mayor has come out with an interview saying he's just like Putin. He's an authoritarian person. And Kiev mayor is one of the sort of, by the way, he's like typical of like Eastern Europe. Iran is the same, by the way. Sort of, he's a former boxer who became like it's weirdest thing. We have this weird route out of a sports medals. If you get a sports medal, then you go to city council. Half of the Iran city councils are taekwondo and wrestling champions. I don't know why, but that's the case. So yeah. So it's pretty clear that somebody somewhere has greenlit Zelensky over project.
I see.
Yeah. So I just added that Venezuela is also attacking some shitty country next to it. I forget how to say the name. They want the oil there. Do you know the name of South America? Is your region? Come on. It's your region. Come on. You have to accept
Guyana?
Is that how you say it? I read it, but
I don't know. I think I literally saw a half headline. That's why I'm just saying that.
Yeah, they have Venezuela is doing a
Guyana. There we go. Shit.
Is that Guyana? Is that a country? Come on. I feel like this. You made this up to make me like look things up. That's not a country. That sounds like bullshit. But whatever. But Venezuela is taking over this country or fantasy land, as I like. But yeah, apparently there is dispute over the area where there is a lot of oil. So as usual, the area where there is money. No, I know there is that area underdeveloped with people. No, not that. The one with the money. Yeah, that's what I think it belonged to me. I think my dad told me that. So that's, I thought I'd give you general international update. But before, perhaps let's finish off on the, I thought this one was interesting. Did you see the Republican thing, Vivek? Play the part where Vivek talks. I think you might, if you haven't seen it, you might get a bit surprised by how harsh he goes at other conservatives. From the beginning, play the beginning part.
I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be surprised because
I don't know, man.
Towards them.
He's brutal, but I was shocked
the Nikki
by
Haley stuff was hilarious a few weeks ago.
That's the one. That's
but this one's from a day ago. I think it's new.
I think they're playing it again. No, I'll play it. Let's see if it's
so
new.
Good.
Yeah, it's but yeah, it's the Nikki Haley stuff. But I was shocked by. Let's play it first, and then
let me see if it's the same one. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Primary candidates got into it last night. They met on the News Nation debate stage to hash out their differences. Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, and Vivek Ramaswamy tackled a number of issues from the economy to the border to Israel and to Ukraine, and also the elephant in the room, or not in the room, former President Donald Trump. However, the night's biggest moment came when personal animosities between Ramaswamy and Haley exploded over this challenge given to the former UN ambassador.
Hi, man. So foreign policy experience is not the same as foreign policy wisdom. I want everybody at home to note that I was the first person to say we need a reasonable peace deal in Ukraine. Now a lot of the neocons are quietly coming along to that position, with the exceptions of Nikki Haley and Joe Biden, who still support this, what I believe is pointless war in Ukraine. And I think those with foreign policy experience, one thing that Joe Biden and Nikki Haley have in common is that neither of them could even state for you 3 provinces in eastern Ukraine that they want to send our troops to actually fight for. Look at that. This is what I want people to understand. These people have, I mean, she has no idea what the hell the names of those provinces are, but she wants to send our sons and daughters and our troops and our military equipment to go fight it. So reject this myth that they've been selling you, that somebody had a cup of coffee stint at the UN and then makes $8 million after, has real foreign policy experience. It takes an outsider to see this through. Look at the blank expression. She doesn't know the names of the provinces that she wants to actually fight for. And there's her puppet masters right there, the donors right there that are playing her like the puppet masters.
Hold on. Now that wasn't Vivek's only swing at.
And hold on, no, sorry, I was talking about the heel things, but let's put that aside. I mean,
oh no,
2 things though. Let me just say.
Play the other video. It gets really worse.
Okay, I'll play it. I just want to say 2 things.
Go ahead.
One is this debate that they have is like the funniest, most useless thing. It's like a kid's table, except for Vivek, man. Vivek, nobody knows him. All this is freaking great for him, man. For next time, he needs to get in the public eye. He's just beating these guys up okay, there's no harm in that. Just hurting these guys, and then sooner or later he'll have to stop his campaign. But in 4 years, he's the only winner of this random, actually pointless debates that they have without Trump, because the Florida guy, he's getting absolutely bashed. What's his name? Chris Christie was brought because they needed a 4th player, and Nikki Haley just seems to be there for him to destroy.
Chris Christie was brought on because the Fat Society had requested equal representation.
No, I swear, whenever there's like a pickup football game and they're like 4v3, they look around, they're like, shit, we need a 4th. You come play. Can you stand and goal? This is
that's actually you that you were saying. That was me in every football game I have participated. But
no, Sam, you can't play. Oh shit, we need a player. Sam, come.
Sam, have you heard of goalkeeping? It's the coolest position. They have a different jersey, Sam, and good standard. But yeah, no, he's. I would. You're right, and 10-15 years ago it would have mattered because there was a Republican structure and they could have punished you, but I think he's the only one who gets that the game has changed. And if you want to get elected, if you're into politics game, if you're not in just making money game, then you have to do what he does. But anyway, play a bit more though, but it could
pay
really
off
bad.
in 4 years. It could pay off.
Nikki Haley over the course of the night.
Sounded like a woke Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light ad talking about how campaign
over the course of the night.
We're talking about that trans issue. And Nikki Haley's campaign launch video sounded like a woke Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light ad talking about how she would kick in heels. At the first debate, she said that only a woman can get this job done. That's what she said. After the 3rd debate, when I criticized Ronna McDaniel after 5 failed years of leadership of this party and criticized Nikki for her corrupt foreign dealings as a military contractor, she said that I have a woman problem. Nikki, I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. And I think that that's what people need to know. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send your kids to die so she can buy a bigger house. This is the problem.
But pulled off nicely with class. Because he just wrote it himself there, so it makes sense if it looks comical.
It's more
effectively than Kamala Harris is a form of intellectual fraud.
Yo, he's not bad, eh? He's a sharp lad. I'll give him
play
that.
more, play more.
Yeah.
It gets even. That's the part that I couldn't believe is this part.
Liberal commentators very riled up.
If you want somebody who's going to speak truth to power, then vote for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job? That the government lied to us for 20 years about Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11? That the Great Replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform? That the 2020 election was indeed stolen by big tech? That the 2016 election, the one that Trump won for sure, was also one that was stolen from him by the national security establishment that actually put up the Trump-Russia collusion hoax that they knew was false?
Joining us to discuss is
So yeah, I expected like the attacks and stuff. Well done, man. You're, fantastic, tactician, all that. But then I genuinely did not expect the 2020 election story.
Yeah,
I thought he might pay lip service to, inside job, blah, blah, blah. But saying it's a stolen.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him. He seems to be taking big risks there, but I was a bit shocked by that, I must say.
He just needs to be careful that for some reason he doesn't get into a firefight with Trump. Because there's no need.
He needs to be careful with that. Yeah.
There's just no need for that.
He's trying his best not to do that. He's positioning himself as Trump's attack dog. So Trump might,
because he's going to have to take a back seat. He's going to have to understand that he needs to, he'll need to chill soon.
So that's the problem. It's not that he might clash with Trump in a point. The problem is that Trump might think of him as a rival for the, for the light of the, attention. So that's his biggest problem. But so he might, wanna, tone it down a bit. He
can still continue as long as he's shitting on these people. But once the primary gets started and going,
though, he would be genuinely perfect as a vice president for Trump because he's from an ethnic minority as well.
Oh, you think he even has a chance as that? I didn't even think
that's what he's running for. He's running for vice president.
And then he could still go for president next, right? Like it won't damage him. It won't put him in the vice president position.
With Trump, because the way he's approaching Trump, I don't think it would damage him. And I think, to be honest, he might have because Trump presidency is much more malleable. So I think he can make vice presidency kind of much more than it is kind of like Dick Cheney. Than the position allows it. If he's smart enough, he
could do that or just then chill or just run a few more months and then just chill for 4 years. Yeah, you're right.
Just take shit for a while and wait for your time. That's another possibility.
I don't know which one I would recommend.
I mean, the second one, the backing off one and chilling is more conservative. It's a bit safer option. But it could lead Trump does something really bad and then blames it on you and you're fucked forever. That's another. Just what happened? He nuked Japan. I didn't recommend that. He's telling everyone what.
No, I meant chill, as in not even go for vice president or anything.
Oh, that?
Really chill.
No, I think that's too much outside of mainstream. I feel like that's too much out of public eye. And if he gets the cabinet job, it's too much responsibility for somebody who I don't think is capable of any. So he needs a showman job. Sorry, like a vice president or maybe Secretary of State, although that's might be too complicated.
I don't know. I feel like you could just chill, not do anything, and in 2 years and all that, just slowly even attack Trump.
No, he needs to do it
halfway
like a
through the
podcast
election.
or something.
Yeah,
he needs to do a podcast or something though, even if he doesn't. You know what I mean? He needs to stay relevant somehow. But attack Trump at the end, towards the end of his 8th year.
Yeah, at the end. At the end of his next.
I know,
at the end of this
Trump,
one.
Yeah, at the end
3 years. Let's say Trump becomes president.
At the end of his.
Because technically Trump could do 2 new terms, right? But I think that's pushing.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I feel age-wise that might be. I feel even after he dies, the Trump followers, you don't want to Like, you want to keep them on your side. They're hardcore.
No, keep them on your side, but a little bit of showing that, you know, you're not so much of a pushover. Maybe just one or two tactical, you know, tactical.
You have to be very careful not to offend the man. But
no, just one or two tactical oppositions.
Shoes today, not my favorite shoes.
His socks. No, those shoes are okay.
Guys,
socks.
I'm an honest critic when it comes down to it. And
no, exactly.
the shoes are not my choice. Something like that. Yeah, I guess.
Honestly. Pretty much.
I would have had coffee first before I have breakfast. That's a big critique I have of Mr. Trump.
Kind of laughing, but that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah, that's as far as you can go with him. Anything deeper is, or you can start, like, I guess, you know, shitting on his kids. He would love that. That's one way of.
But okay, let's wrap up.
And on Henry
Kissinger.
Who, I mean, I'm very shocked by all these people who claim to be independent media, critical media. Everybody has been reporting this, that it has been claimed by Kissinger estate that Henry Kissinger has passed away after 100 years. Personally, I don't believe it. I think, again, I believe this has been proven in a number of studies that he had a deal with the Satan to live forever until the end of days, unless we have reached the end of days, which is quite possible, frankly. So, I don't know. But they claim that Henry Kissinger has passed. But
at the age of 100.
At the age of 100, after less than 6 months ago, trying to negotiate a peace between China and America at the age 100. Just again.
But you know what I don't understand, though, is that why it's so okay for, like, both haters and not so haters, even the mainstream media, of always saying, like, you know, how he was like a killer and responsible for so many deaths in such a particular way that is never associated to anybody else. Like, with him, like, is really what he did, like, categorically so different than what everybody else did before and after him? Like, how come with him it has stuck so much?
I mean, not that I am an expert by any means, but this is my 2 cents. I think it's due to 2 reasons. One was that something that a professor of mine told me. He said that and I think he's partially right, that Kissinger has dedicated his life ever since being a Secretary of State of creating his own myth, of writing books about the era, because he was Secretary of State for, I think, less than 4 years, you know. And yeah, exactly, he's not that so actually 3 reasons. So first reason, his own activities as a marketing person within New York, in publishing,
so just pushing
in media,
that narrative,
pushing that narrative as a evil sort of mastermind of realpolitik, which that is even arguable, that he was, whether he was American chauvinist or a realpolitik guy. Secondly, was the fact that Nixon was somebody who everybody was allowed to hate, because I mean, his downfall is like it was even Republicans, because he did this illegal sort of actions, like, oh, we didn't even endorse it, and because he, to be honest, I think partially because he made the peace with China, something Kissinger did, and because he put in price control. He was the last president who was trying to be a president, was trying to be independent to some extent successfully. Since after him, pretty much everybody was a puppet, or maybe in case of George Bush, the father, puppet master, perhaps, but for a very short time. But he was trying to be a president, using the actual powers of presidency. So he became demonized as this wannabe a dictator, sort of American imperialism in 1960s, He's become the most evil guy, and Kissinger, by association, is the Grand Vizier, in the tradition of, I mean, you're not in the tradition of grand evil viziers like Richelieu in France, or so many other in Iran.
And he doubled down on that, also, you're saying.
And I think he doubled down on that in many ways through his own work. The third reason is, I think, comes back to this thing of this, like, the fact that he was trying to make peace with China, and he was, he was more about sort of détente rather than spreading democracy, which is something Democrats are all about. I think that made him a target for journalists who are overwhelmingly Democratic supporters, and he would work with dictators for security and American interest, while like Reagan or sorry, not Reagan, Carter and Clinton would start war for like gun manufacturing. You know what I mean? Like, not exactly, I'm oversimplifying it and all that, but so I think that's maybe another reason, but maybe these are the reasons. But I do think his own activities may be the crucial thing, because you're right, Brzezinski probably is much more realpolitik, to be honest, and much more influential in some way. Brzezinski set up the Taliban, for example, so, but yeah, he's considered much more evil and all that. I mean, the fact that he had a German accent, to be honest,
that doesn't
help. Like, an old 50-year-old man with a German accent became the Secretary of State. So,
no, it's impressive, man. Despite that, he managed to
very
become
impressive. Very impressive. His track record for sleeping with ladies was also very impressive.
Oh, really? Okay. Doesn't come near Cornel, probably, but I mean.
No, he beat Cornel.
Oh,
I think, yeah. But he never
Cornel
married
had his
them
fame. You
and
don't know.
housed
If
them.
Cornel had that
Cornel
kind
marries
of fame,
them, houses them,
and
pays
true, he has a
money,
much more comprehensive package.
and
that
he has the
offers.
money to actually, do this. But he also, don't you know his most famous quote?
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm trying to remember it exactly as it is. The most, what is it? The most inciting. I'm fucking it up, but power is the biggest aphrodisiac. That's his most. Put Henry Kissinger power. What is it? Power is the what?
That's what you said.
God,
sorry.
Come here, you're a robot or something?
Is that shit? Fuck! What happened?
I told you to
there we go.
Power is the great aphrodisiac. Yeah, I thought it's the greatest or something. Yeah, it's the great. So I guess that's what he means. I mean,
Yeah.
That's his. He was very. He was always very. Would hint at his sexual prowess. I guess. I don't know.
Interesting, but yeah, he lived.
But very impressive. Again, just like the other guy we were talking about, Yahya Sinwari. Imagine a migrant Jew that was kicked out of Germany. I believe his parents were kicked out due to Nazi racial policies, becoming Secretary of State to the most powerful nation on earth.
And keeping the strongest accent ever. I don't know how he managed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like at some point that accent should have faded away.
No, can't please stop saying this. No. It's impressive. It's truly impressive. I would add that, to be honest, his hatred by the people like Hitchens and many other people on the left, he was not the guy to hate, really. He probably did more for peace than anyone with the China thing. I don't know.
But okay, all right, interesting stuff. You had a good answer to my question. I like that. That was a good one. Give yourself a pat on the back. Yeah, that was a good one. And okay, let's take a second and come back to PBD, the future of America.
Let's remind people, I was not even told in advance.
Oh yes, on the spot, right there.
It's improv comedy here. We are doing comedy part is a bit questionable.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, alrighty, Sam. So let's wrap up the show with a little watch along of a clip of PBD's interview with the Shah son. So in a second, I'll let you maybe give a little introduction as needed or whatever you want to say. But yeah, well, I guess we'll try to do it as a real watch along. So maybe we'll try our best to like not pause like every 2 or 3 minutes or something like that. But no promises. We'll see.
I like to every couple of like seconds, you guys can put in a traitor from me, just as the adage. That because that's pretty much what I want to say. But yeah, it's a very fascinating interview, I think. I mean, not that fascinating, to be honest, between Reza Pahlavi. For an Iranian, as an Iranian, it's fascinating. I don't know why anybody else would give a shit. I mean, even most Iranians, to be honest, shouldn't. Reza Pahlavi is the son of the former Shah of Iran, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. And in it, they discuss like Shah's downfall and Iran's current and past situation. And should anything else I should add to in terms of introduction?
No, just a fun watch. And of course, from the first 7 minutes, if we hadn't told you that this is an interview, you wouldn't know. You would think it's just PBD giving a monologue, but no, he is actually interviewing someone. Okay.
I mean, I can't believe. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's
unbelievable.
Let's let PBD do the talking. I think at the same time it's beneficial. Let him get us going.
You're the son of a king. You're the grandson of one of the most respected and feared leaders in Iran, Reza Khan, the Majesty, who.
I mean, just that. Any word that comes out of his mouth. You're the son. You're the grandson. You're the great-great-grandson.
He's such a goddamn real estate. It's like everything. It's like a salesperson. Yeah,
but no, he's right. He's the son and the grandson, and both of them were kings.
He was a whole different type of leader. When you drop his name, it's a different kind of respect you get from people that are older. You ask somebody younger right now, they don't really know what it is. They know about your father. Your grandfather was a superior general. He was a doer. He got things done and loved and hated at the same time. But I want to talk about your father and the events that led to the fall of Iran.
Sorry, but yeah, first of all, he wasn't the rapper. People, like when he entered the room, people dropped a different type of respect. Like, the way he's talking about this guy. But I think he betrays his. And again, I don't have anything necessarily against this. I myself may have this, but he betrays some fascistic tendencies because with many other Iranians, as you can see, he clearly prefers Reza Khan, as he calls him, to the Mohammad Reza Shah because he was he was a superior general. He was awesome. He had a gun. He killed people with it. He used to beat people up. He was so tough. So it's fascinating. It's genuinely fascinating.
Iran, I have my opinions of mistakes that were potentially made. I want to know what you think it was. And I'll make a list. I want to play a couple clips to you. A couple of the clips are in a book that I'm writing that I've been working on for 13 years. It's not coming out. It's something that I've worked on for many years. And he's in it. When I think about the fall of Iran,
and he's in
you'll typically hear about the fact that CIA was involved, MI6 was involved. That's why they fell. Okay. Jimmy Carter came in. He did the toast. If you can pull up the picture when you're looking at the toast between the two, you see this here. When I look at this, your dad looks very uncomfortable. And
I love this. He's fucking assessing the picture.
Years ago, he did psychological analysis of the man
through the picture.
Black and white. No, I mean, to be fair, I'm glad he's giving voice to the thing that I keep telling people. This is, again, majority of most Iranians agree with him, not with me, not with any of those goddamn idiots who've studied in top universities abroad and espouse left wing. They agree with him that CIA was crucial in the fall of the Shah. That's like the belief of even the people who participated in the goddamn revolution. Like, that's what they believe. But anyway, sorry, good.
It's almost as if your dad is trying to be respectful, but doesn't trust an ounce of words coming out of Carter's mouth. But he's
You
trying to be
snitch,
accommodating and
Carter.
respectful. And then Carter, at the same time, he's given a look of, you have no idea what I'm about to do to you when I leave this place. This is December 31st of 1977.
Correct.
And he leaves, and then next thing you know, the conditions get worse, and the rest is history. So CIA, MI6, the Shah. There's another documentary I watch about the 1954 oil consortium agreement that they had.
PBD.
It was a 25-year
Yeah, I
agreement
know.
that was coming to an end, and it was a way where originally it was an agreement they made in 1954, 50% of ownership to foreign companies. 40% of it was divided equally, 8% each. Among the 5 major American companies were British Petroleum, BP. They had 40% of it. Royal Dutch, Shell, they each had 14% of it. CFP, a French company, to receive 6% of it. And this was a very profitable venture.
Cousin,
because if Iran's grown the way they are during that 25-year, from 1954 to 1979, nobody wants to give up that annuity. Nobody wants to give up that investment. There's some documentaries done about the fact that it was a meeting in Central or South America about what they can do for your father to fall. That's a different conversation that comes up. And then there's a couple other things, comments that he made, way before there was a President Trump calling out the fake news. Your father was the first one that called out fake news. I don't know if you remember the interview. If you want to play this clip, I want to play this clip and kind of get your reaction of this.
It's like he's getting everything off his chest. Calm down.
I know, right? He's like 30 years of history of Iran. Let me tell you. Your father, he was a big hero to me. Your grandfather, sorry. Your father, a bit unsure on him, but he was boss. It's unbelievable.
Calm down. We'll talk about it.
This is October 24th. 1976, I want to say, 60 Minutes. He's sitting with Mike Wallace, and you've seen this before, but I just want to get some commentary on this. Go ahead and play it, Rob.
Surely, Your Majesty, you're not
this part is
the Jewish
unbelievable.
lobby in the United States pulls the strings of the presidency.
Not entirely, but I think even a little too much, even for Israel interests.
You think the Jewish lobby in the United States is too powerful for the interests of Israel?
I think so. Sometimes they are disserving the interests of Israel because they're pushing around too many people.
How do you mean pushing around?
Well, pressuring. They have many means at their disposal. They are putting up pressure on many, many people. And at the end, I don't think that it will even help Israel.
Why, if this is true, why would the President of the United States pay attention to that lobby?
They are strong.
Strong in what sense?
They are controlling many things.
Controlling what?
Newspapers, medias,
Your Majesty.
banks, finances, and I'm going to stop there.
Well, now wait just a second. You really do believe that the Jewish community in the United States is that powerful? They make the media reflect their view of foreign policy?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They do not report, we do not report honestly?
I love how he corrects here.
Don't mix things, please. I don't say the media.
Yes, very tough
in the
moments
media they have
from-
people.
Right.
Not the entire media. Some newspapers will only reflect their views, yes.
No?
This next part's important.
The New York Times, for instance, is owned by the Salzburger family, who are Jewish. Are you suggesting that the New York Times is biased in its treatment of the question of Zionism, Israel's existence, the United States' relationship with the Arab world?
I will have to put all the articles of the New York Times written on this subject and draw the conclusion. You can put this to the computer and it will answer you.
What you're saying is that, yes, you do believe.
Well, let's wait for the answer of the computer.
Washington Post?
The same.
The networks?
Less.
I must say you are speaking with your characteristic candor.
Pause right there. So when you're hearing that to today, CIA MI6, Jimmy Carter.
Any comments there?
I mean, I like to keep in mind that just the former Shah of Iran, this is 4 years before the revolution, openly said that the Israeli lobby, right, has undue influence in American politics and therefore in international politics. And then having just played that, by the way, Shah never allowed Israel to have an embassy in Tehran, in Iran. And then what is, I mean, it's amazing his reaction to this video, his son's reaction. Shah, just talked about how Israel has had undue influence and is the problem. And then let's see what his son's reaction is to this video.
1954 oil consortium, him calling out mainstream media. And then I'll give you this last 20-second clip if you want to play this, Rob, when he's being interviewed on, not this one, the one where it's right there, the first 20 seconds, if you can play this.
The British.
Probably, and maybe more, because we are going to invest in the UK.
Have you been able to assure the British government that you'll be investing much of the money we pay you for your oil in British industry?
Sure, because I think that our country in the next 10 years will be what you are today.
The smile coming up. He can't hold it.
In the next 25 years, according to other people, I'm not saying that, will be among the 5 most prosperous countries of the world. When you become something like that.
So to me, I am I enjoy sports post-game interview more than the game. I'm that guy. Like, I like to watch Michael Jordan's interview after the game. Great game you had. I want to know how you're going to answer the question. I want to know how LeBron answers the question, or Michael, or Brady, of all this stuff, right?
6. I wasn't exaggerating.
I was born in this country. I lived there 10 years.
4 seconds.
CIMI6, oil,
almost half
Jimmy
of
Carter,
it's still not a
him
single
calling
He has
out
good
media.
patience.
You don't mess with those guys. And
I would have
him
jumped in.
calling out the enemy in their eyes, saying, "We're about to pass you guys
Talking
out."
about my family, by the way.
Are being revealed. Were those any of the reasons for the fall of Iran?
Oh, finally.
It certainly is part of the reasons. And I think for most people who heard the rhetoric and the narrative of his arch enemies, that he was a puppet of the West or anything along those lines, this proves how much he cared and valued the interests of our country, to the point of risking his own throne, knowing that some will not take it the right way and may plot against him.
Very risky.
Well, but that proves his sense of national duty, and I think then history will be judged for that. But to be honest with it, look, there's so many components to what happened, and I think it would be too easy to focus on some aspects only. The biggest challenge that my father faced was, and let's not forget one thing. Most of the oil revenue that Iran generated did not happen until the late 60s, early 70s, because we were still selling, if I'm not mistaken, a barrel of oil at around $1.80 to about $2.20, something around those lines. It was not until it came up to about $7 to $8 range that it created more revenue for us. Of course, you know, OPEC was formed. We were sensitive to the fact that if we overprice it, then the value of raw material that we'll be importing to Iran will also increase comparably. So it had to be a reasonable price. My father always believed that the price of oil was not fair as it was earlier. So eventually we generated more revenue, which allowed us to commit to much more heavy loaded project in terms of modernization, in terms of industry, in terms of everything that was done in the country in terms of infrastructure, including, of course, building schools and universities and what have you, and all sorts of facilities. But the critics at the time, in terms of the liberal debate, of why was the political sphere limited? Part of it is because, and again, I need to remind the audience that we're talking about the Cold War era. Many of the groups at the time who were critical of the regime were liberal in the sense that they wanted more political participation. But the actual groups that were waging literally war with the regime, including armed struggles, were Marxist groups that were aligned with Moscow. And Moscow's intention at the time was to find a way to somehow annex Iran. as they did in Czechoslovakia, as they did at the time. Iran never faltered.
Are you talking about the two-day group?
I'm talking about certain groups that were
right.
at
And
the
two-day
time
group,
there.
just so
and they aligned themselves with the
Oh,
Islamists,
he doesn't
which
want to
led
name
to
names,
this
guys.
alliance that my father
don't
called
want
the,
to
you know,
say
the,
the name
the alliance of the red and black, which is red being the
typical
communist
Persian
and black being the
politeness.
Islamists.
And to be fair, while on this topic, the spokesperson for Today Party, pre your father, used to be Mossadegh. That was one of the people that represented that community, the communists. Is that a fair statement?
Well, I think, well, actually, you know, most people forget that my father actually nominated Mossadegh to become the prime minister at the time because he believed he would be the best person to push the agenda for nationalization of oil for Iran.
So first of all, Mossadegh was a super nationalist aristocrat who every time anybody said anything to him would start chatting about his familial connections to the previous kings. That's first of all. So he was not a spokesperson for Today. That's one thing for sure. And I would also add Shah did not elect Mossadegh because he believed he was the best person to lead. These are not fucking, you know, what was the those bears card with love hearts, like with the hearts on their chest, you know? They are not, you know, these are not teddy bears or whatever they were called. These are like real politicians. He was like Mossadegh had like overwhelming support in the parliament and in the country, and he was like, okay, you can be prime. Like, it's not like nobody does anything in politics because they oh, this is in the best interest of my nation. All right, I'll do it then. You know, they're not fucking children running a kindergarten. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to clarify that. But I love how we went from Shah directly pointing the finger at Israel and Britain and to it was Moscow trying to annex Iran. That's who it was, guys. And those meddling Muslims too. Those guys, I think they were there. I mean, God, power of language. That's all I can say. Power of language.
As a result of us nationalizing the oil, of course, the British were not happy about that. So our oil was boycotted. And all of a sudden, that led to loss of revenue to the point that the Mossadegh government was becoming bankrupt. And it was not long before my father gave the farman to remove him from office, where the communists already had the Soviet flag floating inside Tehran on some, poles, flag poles, meaning that the danger was at the time that the country will fall into the hand of the Russians by means of the Today Party taking over. Those were the dynamics of the time.
I have to. Just so the danger was country was going to fall into the hands of the Soviet Union. So we decided to, drop the country into the hands of Americans. We decided that's a much better decision. We thought, okay, we're not going to drop it there. We're going to drop it here. Motherfuckers, traitors.
Man, I preferred it when PBD was talking. He was way more fun.
I know, it was much more fun.
Now, if you took that into one sense and the argument for liberalization in terms of political participation, where is the balance? We didn't have at the time sufficient number of organized parties to create some level of balance. Most of the organized parties were these leftist or Marxist parties, including Today Party. So, and again, and you pointed to the fact of how educated society was. Even today, people.
Yeah, true. That's funny. You're like.
No,
there was a monarchy, so why weren't they parties?
No, and we had a multi-party system, which, by the way, Shah's change of mind led to some hilarious events. I've told you this story. Shah had a book called, I think I have it in my shelf, My Mission, My Country, My Mission, something like that. That was one of his books in which he was very much pro multi-party systems. Then he changed his mind. He came up with this Rasta, his Resurrection Party, and he wrote a new book. And then his own book was banned in Iran. Really? Shah's own book. They cleaned it out from all the libraries, all the book stores, and his own book was banned because he promoted multi-party systems. And now he was like, no, we are one. Now it's guys, it's over with. It's change my mind. So yeah, why didn't we have parties? Maybe it was because somebody banned it for a while.
us whether or not Iranians are ready to have true democratic participation. I believe today, yes. But in realistic aspects, let's say the sphere for political openness was completely open. Who would have once, in a lopsided way, prevailed? Now, critics of my father's regime only focus on the fact that there was not political freedom in the sense that you had in the West. There was not. All other liberties were.
No wonder he's not popular or famous.
Yeah, I gotta say though, he's playing his, like, in a way he's the smartest man, because he realized, I don't want to rescue Iran or whatever the fuck is their project. I just want to earn money from Israel. That's all I want to do. I'm gonna focus on, I'm gonna be boring but pleasing to Israelis. That's my strategy long term. So yeah, he's so bad at just, no, he's a, I mean, his
and
father
why does it
was
sound
not
like he
even
learned
the most...
English last year? Has he not been in the States for like 40
I
years?
gotta say, man,
and he probably
that's
learned
a
English
big
from
question.
I mean, his dad spoke perfect English, and him.
It's yeah, exactly. It's like his dad's English was much better.
Far better. He's been in the States for 40 years, right?
More, yeah, or more. Yeah, more 40
and I'm
something
sure he
years
learned
now,
English before that.
Yeah, I mean, before, yeah, exactly. He was abroad half of the time. So, I mean, recently, do you know, we talked about
just
her.
moved like to Dubai.
I know.
And from Iran.
So, PBD, you listen. We came to LA, right? Do you know a kebab shop? Food kebab. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, again, most of my students, young people especially, have better accent in Tehran than he does in America. And again, I have the accent too. So yeah, he's
but
like,
he's also struggling. It's not just that. He's just.
No, I would say, because recently I saw. Do you remember Layla Furuhar? We talked about her, Reza Aslan's aunt, a huge Iranian singer in Iran, Layla Furuhar. I'm sure you heard the name, no?
Yeah, we talked about
Man, there's a video of her going around on Instagram. I wish I had it now, of her interviewing somebody in English, or somebody interviewing her in English. She's been abroad for more than 40 years, and she's like, hello, and I love you, America, work. You love work. And then the Iranians have written the caption on it that, the thing that Iranians are always told, that, you learn a language in the English environment. You learn English in the English environment. You don't learn it from the class. And they've written that just underneath her, because she's been in that fucking environment for 44 years. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess they get surrounded by Iranians all the time. They never have to talk to anybody.
That's true, yeah.
I was in London. I was so surprised of seeing so many old people that have been there for like 40 years and still talking their original language, like Indian, Pakistani, Arabic, Persian sometimes. So.
No, fair enough.
But the political arena was restricted. But it was not just because he wanted so, because the circumstances was so. But he was still committed to reform. My point is that when we reached a stage where there was a political crisis in Iran, in 1978, a year preceding the revolution, there were many elements within Iran, some of them members of the National Front, who were urging that my father...
Like in his narrative, he hasn't connected anything to anything. It's as if he's just going through random points, no?
Yeah, if you know the
being
people,
harsh.
it's... I mean, if you know the details, you're being tiny bit harsh, I think. Tiny bit. Because he doesn't clarify. He doesn't understand most of the audience. Who the fuck is National Front? Like, what is today? Is that the noise?
No, I mean,
is
that I
the
knew,
food?
but he's not connecting from these points.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's on purpose, though, because if you connect those points too well, the whole story is gonna fall apart. So it's like, there was two there, and then they didn't support, and Khomeini, and all that. Yeah. Listen, my dad made mistakes, but then, there was those guys made worse mistakes, and now we are here. So don't think about it too hard. But I think we have more play a bit
not
more
exceed the limit of a constitutional monarch. and allow for him to, as they say, saltanat bokone na hukumat, which means he will reign and not rule. This was the whole argument
Persian
then.
accent is better than mine.
But the climate went in the direction when the Islamists prevailed with the help of the Marxists, saying, no, we have to completely get rid of the Shah. And therefore, instead of seeking reform of the system, that in fact my father was willing to do that. I mean, this is all Monday morning quarterbacking, but these are the facts because, you know, I've heard it both from this side of the aisle and the opponents of my parents over the past 40 years. And the fact was that there was an opportunity for reform, but it did not lead to that. Now, let's say if Gorbachev had happened 5 years earlier, maybe we would not be here right now. It would have been a different outcome. So to pin everything on foreign elements would not be really fair, but it's not untrue either. So that's one aspect. Some of it was domestic. I think mistakes were made on every front, including my own father. But the opposition made more mistakes than he did, because he was offering a possibility for reform. They didn't take that. They thought that actually, by bringing this cleric in charge, everything would change for the better. And as a result, by the time people found out what happened, it was too late. And since then, we've been faced with this regime. My point is, what is the lesson in all this? The lesson is all this is, my father at the time, I'm sorry, I forgot one more aspect, which is also important.
Sorry, I even lost the plot on this one.
Right after...
No, man, he finally reached like some kind of conclusion.
Yes. Play sites.
Hit that you showed me.
Which one?
The one with Carter being in Tehran and talking about all that. Well, the undercurrent was beginning to shape. And some of these governments, including the French government, who hosted Khomeini as a political refugee, which, by the way, under French law, if given that status of asylum, you are forbidden from conducting any kind of campaign against another government, which was what was assumed. But the French asked my father at the time, after he moved from Iraq to Paris and went to that location called Neuf-le-Château, which everybody remember, he was not in any form or shape contained in continuing his campaign. And my father assumed that the French would obviously, in exchange for allowing him to go there, in fact, many before that were suggesting, should we get rid of him? And my father was not at all in agreement of making Khomeini a martyr. I'm telling you this because these are not the facts in history that most people have heard, because media didn't talk about it, the revolutionaries didn't talk about it, because these are the facts that happened at the time.
I mean, that's their fucking problem. They think this is some fucking virtue, the fact that Shah didn't kill him, but also, was kind of like, didn't fully allowed him to stay in the car. Like this fucking, middle of the way. I don't know. Should I do this? Should I do? Like both, like authoritarian people hate you now because they are like, why didn't you kill Khomeini? Also, liberals hate you now because you exiled Khomeini. That was his biggest. Like you never could make up his mind. So.
My father refused, besides the behest of many of the governments, including the Carter administration, to stand firm. He said, I'm not going to turn my arms against my own people after 37 years of reign. I'm not going to stain my hands with the blood of my own people. And he left voluntarily. When they found out, by they I mean Carter and company, the Guadeloupe summit took place.
He ran away like a little bitch, more like it. But
summit, where himself, Callahan, which was the British foreign minister, Helmut Schmidt, who I think at the time was the German chancellor, and the French president Giscard d'Estaing, they all decided, well, if we cannot rely on the Shah to...
Yeah, they decided in the Panama meeting that if we can't rely on the Shah, let's rely on the Muslims because they are better than the communists. But Shah offered the premiership to 3 people in the end, right? Because the country was in complete chaos, because electricity, there was electric shortages, there were bread shortages, there was all that. So he offers the premiership to 3 people. As far as I know, one of them, and I've heard different stories, but I think it's anyway, one of them tells him, I will only accept it if you stay as the king in Iran, because if you go, the military will collapse, or they will do a coup d'etat or something, and everything will fall apart, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you froze.
No, shaking man.
Yeah. The other one, Bakhtiar, the guy who would end up become the prime minister, was okay with the Shah, or actually may have requested the Shah to leave the country, sort of, so the things would calm down. But at any rate, he was gonna leave. He was a scaredy cat. In 1952, when there was the other coup d'etat with Mossadegh, he ran away to first, I think, Iraq and then Italy, if I'm not mistaken. He was never capable of any decision making when it came to crisis. In 1962 or 1, when Qom and all the religious people rise up because of the reforms, again, he's completely incapable of his decision making. His best friend Alam has to step in and order the troops to go in and end the protest. So he was not a man made for crisis. Again, I'm kind of fan of the guy, and I'm talking about him like this. But the idea that like he ran away like a little bitch, as guessed by either Dr. Sadeghi or another person, the army, and by the way, he put Qarabaghi, a man who already had suffered either a heart attack or a stroke, in charge of the military, basically somebody who knew was not capable of doing a coup d'etat, somebody completely, old, basically invalid person.
Yeah.
He put him in charge, ran away from the country, and guess what? The army collapsed, the intelligence services changed side, and the invalid leader of the military immediately announced that military is neutral, and country went to the details are, debatable, I guess. But the idea that this, like, oh, Shah, like, step aside, I don't want there to be bloodshed. No, for my people, partially true, but it was because he was a scaredy cat,
Yeah.
not because. And again, maybe a scaredy cat is better than a authoritarian ruler who stays until the end and kills everybody. Maybe that's the case. Let's not just mythologize or bullshit anybody.
No.
Again, I kind of think Shah was okay, by the way. I like to, he was a little bit of a scaredy cat, but then again, you have good qualities, bad qualities.
Let's see if PBD comes back in here. No.
To maintain his power, we have no choice but to support
he comes in
Khomeini.
a bit.
Did they want the fall? Did they want the fall because they knew the leverage and negotiation was all on your father's hands, because he was about to spike the prices of oil, where they had to go through him, and it was going to make you even a more powerful regime? Was it more that being their fear that they influenced the fall?
Well, I mean, remember that I think, if I'm not mistaken, at the time we were selling a barrel of oil at about $14 to $15, if I'm not mistaken. 3 months after the fall of my father, the price of oil spiked all the way up to about $35. The North Sea oil was not cost effective under $17 a barrel. So I don't know what calculation was into play. Was it only a fear that price of oil will go higher? Well, it did higher as a result of the revolution.
No, I'm with you. I agree, because you at least have somebody that you can deal with. The new regime you have no relationship with. You think they're going to sit there and negotiate with you? They're going to do whatever they can to.
Look, nobody knew who this character is. Everybody thought that Khomeini is some kind of a religious guru, the nice old wise man who will go back to
that part is true.
I mean,
that part is quite true. That everybody, including liberals and the leftists, social democrats, kind of that brought Khomeini to power, their genuine thought was that, okay, he's going to be some basically influenced by the myth of Gandhi. They thought he's going to be some religious figure, some moral figure that is going to come in. And he used to say, and I think that was Khomeini's intention originally, to stay in Qom as a sort of a religious leader. Nobody wants to, you know, do the dirty job. But then liberals and Marxists were such incapable, incompetent fools, as they always are, that basically Khomeini kind of had to step in, kind of. I think that's what happens. But they would argue that Khomeini was like so secretly plotting and playing a double act. I think it was much more of a sort of a product of the time. I mean, to be honest, here their view is probably equally. I mean, you know, nobody knows. Who knows?
And how much on the same page are PBD and and the Shah's son, or they're just like talking past through each other?
No, they looked that part. He was paying lip service there, where he was talking about how the price of oil changed after that. So Shah's son is like, I know about this. I haven't thought about it hard enough, I guess. But interesting, PBD. I guess Techie. I mean, if PBD believes what he's saying, then I guess he's playing him, kind of. He's sort of, you know, stringing them along, this type of conspiracy. By the way, you might notice a dip in my audio because, volume issue, like because of battery issues. I had to,
And, you know, people like Andrew Yang call him a saint.
This is too
Andrew
funny,
Yang, the guy that ran for office, UBI, the Democrat.
You know, it was the mayor in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, I think.
Andrew Yang. I got you. Andrew Yang called him a saint, yes.
And others.
Not Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang talk about it. He's like, Andrew Yang, the UBI guy. This is really funny. Hold on.
That would have been funny, though.
Call him a saint.
Andrew Yang, the guy that ran for office, UBI, the Democrat.
You know, it was the mayor in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken, at the time, I think.
Andrew Yang. I got you. Andrew Yang called him a saint, yes.
And others really believe that he really is that clerical figure who could possibly be that. And he turned out to be
far from a saint.
Far from a saint, because he brought in this ideology. Well, the rest is history, as we say. But we need to address these issues, because I think if our audience doesn't understand the complexity of what's at play in that region and the dynamics of it, and why Iran is so different than the other countries in the region, because our sense of identity with our national identity, as opposed to the prevailing religion, which is not the priority, makes us say always we are first Iranian, then we are, let's say, of this ethnic tendency or that religion. That's very important to understand. What do we relate to in terms of our national identity?
You know, there's a part also for me that I wonder, a mistake that maybe your father was making. And by the way, you know, listen, these are, quite frankly, more selfishly my own questions. The audience, like, you know, is probably going to get value from it because I'm curious about it, but it's more my own reason for asking these questions. I think the challenge every leader has, you're a father, I'm a father, you're a leader, I'm a leader. When you're a leader,
I'm a data guy.
You try to, there's a great book written, The 5 Temptations of a CEO. One of the one is you're trying to please everybody, okay? And I think there was an element of your father that was trying to please the poor, the socialist element, and he was trying to please the rich.
I'm guessing this is where PBD transitions into his own philosophy. He's like, okay, now let's go analogy.
Listen,
chickens, birds, leaders.
No, but I love the fact he ends the video on him giving his sort of final analysis on the Shah psyche. It's like, Jesus, this man is just the ego in this man. Imagine you saying the sentence, there is this book right now, I'm writing it. Not I'm reading it, I'm writing it. There's this book right now, I'm writing it. It's just, I mean, unbelievable. The whole thing is 3 hours. For all Iranians, it has comedic values. But
the first time I enjoyed it way more, because I'm not even sure if I listened to too much of the Shah son's part, just stuck to PBD. Oh boy, is that guy boring.
Oh yeah, he's not the
that was like the worst. I was on, it's like the worst way. He just sounded like he was naming random things.
I mean, he's extremely uncharismatic. His father wasn't even that charismatic, to be honest. But I mean, you know.
Yeah. And I think maybe a lot of this thing that actually you're saying his father, even his father in the interview was using that. He like drops hints at things. You're like, okay, I mean, I don't always know what you're thinking about. Just fucking say it. What he's saying, he's like, you know, some friends of who? But this is an interview.
No,
who are you talking
listen.
about?
This is not a 20 question, okay? It's an interview. We arranged it in advance. We talked to your people. They said that you're ready to answer. No, well, I would say he was leader of a nation, of a major nation, of a major army. He was okay, I'm trying to be coy, I'm trying to be diplomatic. What the fuck is he? Who is he? Like, what is this like nonsense that look, the price of oil changed, but who knows why? It is interesting though. It is interesting. What is going like say what you think, man? But again, he's again, if you put yourself in his shoes, which is the shoes that is trying to get as much money from Israelis and Arabs as there is it's possible to get, then I guess a lot of things make sense, you know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. Let's wrap this up. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next video. Thank you.